fucking diseased, corrupt temple down on your head. It's gotta be biblical.
Good day, welcome to Patriots Across The Pond, Deeper Dive Fridays with Jason Q, episode 9. And Elisa, how are you guys? All right?
Good.
Okay.
Jay, just want to say your show with Santos yesterday was awesome.
Oh
was
my
God. Great watch. That was, is that the first time you've had him on?
Yep.
Yeah, that was nice to see you all excited there and chatting with him. He's a great guy, isn't he?
Yeah, very. Because at the beginning, I was nervous. You just get that way. If you're not nervous about this stuff, you're not human. Because you talk about a lot of deep stuff, and people pick up on that. It's like you don't want to mess up. It's like new. So.
Yeah. No, it was an excellent watch, and great to see him on there. So, what have you been digging? Oh, just want to ask you one thing quickly. Have you heard of Cicada 3301?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. That's good. Have you dug into that much? That's quite interesting.
That was a long time ago, yeah.
Yeah, that sounds, I was going to say that sounds like a long time ago.
Yeah, it sounds like the precursor to this.
Yeah.
Not saying, just saying.
Yeah.
It's almost like that's how they found their people to do coding and...
Yeah.
Yeah. Seems right. What the hell's going on with this camera? Let me check this real quick.
So, welcome everyone in the chat. Nice to see you. There's a lot of people in there. We've got you on the screen today. It's nice we can do that when there's the three of us. I enjoy watching that coming up the screen, don't you, Lisa?
I love it. Yeah. And I wanted to do, mind if I do just a public service announcement? Yes, April 25th and 26th, we have the Awakening Summit here in New York. You guys, the tickets are starting to go because what's happening right now is that a lot of the speakers and people involved in this are starting to really blast this out. So last night we had a little barrage of ticket sales happening. So it's theawakeningsummit.org. We've got amazing speakers. You'll be able to see everyone who's coming on the site. You'll be able to purchase your tickets. We have early bird specials until March 1st. VIP tickets as well, where you could come early, have breakfast with all of us, interact with all the speakers. Breakfast is free. I think there's a couple of other little perks. I think we're giving away a t-shirt and some other stuff. And we'd love to have you. It's here on Long Island, Lynbrook. And that's it. If you have any questions, you can inquire. Could always put any questions in the chat too. I'll answer them. And Stu's flying in for the first time too. He's the first time he's going to be in America. So that we have a lot of plans. We're going to talk about, I'm putting together a whole itinerary now of what I have to do with him and bring him around to all the boroughs, a little Long Island, a steak dinner. There's a whole bunch of things. He wants to get a cowboy hat. So we're going to be doing a lot of things.
Yeah, a white one. I wanted to go to a Trump store, but you haven't got one there at the moment, have you?
We did for like a year and a half. Believe me, I got a lot of garb there. But but they closed it. I think it was like a temporary lease, like from the election onward. But I got a great hat. I got these. They had these beautiful T-shirts that you could put these bling. And I always like bling, like iron-ons. So I got a few of those. I wish they would open it. However, we do have on Long Island the America First Warehouse, which is in, I think it's Hop Hog. And so that's a beautiful place. That's where we had the first Awakening Summit in October, and you're blown away. So we're going to take a trip there, and just not to be like, give too much, but Stu and I decided that we're going to do some live podcasts, not just like this, but on location from different places. So we're going to have fun. That's
a bit closer like that.
Yeah, exactly. And from on location. So that'll be a first for us to do. So anyway, is Jason?
So, Jason was having trouble with his camera just then, so he dipped out. I think I presume he'd be back any second. But
do you have the flyer you could put up while we're waiting for him? I don't know if you have that handy for the event.
What, your Awakening Summit?
Yeah, unless you could just pull up the website, we could just do a scroll.
Hang on, I've got fat fingers. The Awakening Summit.org. There you go. What do you want to show? Now, I didn't want to go to America for years because I knew what was going on. And then Trump got in, and Q came out, and Sting started turning around, and then Biden got in, or did he? And devolution.
Yeah.
And I thought maybe I don't want to go, and then Trump's in, and I do want to go, but things are firing up again, aren't they?
Yeah, no, I think you're safe, and you'll be well protected with.
I'm fighting on God's army anyway. So
exactly. So if you scroll, you see you could buy tickets here, and if you scroll, you'll be able to see, and you click speakers, so you could see we've got some really great people coming. We got Derek Johnson, Dr. Jan Halper-Hayes, Joe Rosati, and Scott's in there somewhere from TruthStream, Carrie Cassidy, Brad Olson, Lisa Schermerhorn. We have Laura Worley, who we did a show with. Bruce Poppy, we also did a show with him, which was wonderful. Matt Geiger, who you know from Verity Metals, he's huge sponsor of this event. We've got Kat, Light Warrior Patriot, and we have Susan Lingenfelter, as well as Mark Abraham. There's yours truly's. There's Stu and myself, and we just added Chris O'Connor. And we got confirmation that Lewis Herms, he's got a very busy schedule, obviously with the campaign, but he's going to be there via Zoom, so he'll be attending. And there's a couple of other surprises we're still working on that we hope to announce in the next day.
And don't forget Scott Stone there. You completely.
Well, I said him when I said Joe.
Pardon?
I said him when I said Joe.
Oh right, okay.
I clumped them together.
Oh, yeah. So I can get tickets for that.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's the ticket site. And so it's going to be great. It's going to be a great event.
Yeah. So that's all there. And a message from Jay. He was in just now. He's
maybe he's fixing his camera.
So
go ahead.
Well, no, it was just Jason's show yesterday with Santos Bonacci. It was amazing. You haven't seen it yet, have you?
I haven't seen it yet.
But
that's on my list. I got to watch today.
I've watched a lot of Santos Bonacci in the past. Here comes Jay. Jay's back. Yeah.
All right.
All good?
What's that? Your camera being a dick?
No, computer's being a dick. Again.
Yeah.
Damn it.
So, what you've been looking into this week, Jason? I've seen 3 links you sent in a private chat, so they're all up, ready to go whenever you want them.
Yeah. I put a couple videos in the private chat, but they're gone now.
No, I've got them.
We still have them. Yeah, they stayed for us. Maybe just more.
Those 3 videos, they're up, ready to go. They're all from the same guy, aren't they? People's Voice.
Yeah, and the one about King Charles.
Yeah. I tell you what, I did really enjoy it when Santos chipped in about Charlie and Erica Kirk yesterday.
Oh man,
yeah.
And the thing is, like, it's slow. It was slow going because we talked about all the stuff with Santos and all like a few years ago, and now with everything we've gained and all that, and now that we understand the whole necromancy, not understand it, but with the mirrors and the necromancy and everything they're doing, that just puts it on a whole different level. That's where, you know, because Dina sent them a bunch of stuff we talked about yesterday, and this leads to the whole Freemasons, who they were. I mean, it's like, I mean, you're chasing this, that, this, and it all goes back to these ancient gods. I mean, it's.
So, Jason, I want to ask you a question. So,
Yeah.
You know, you got like a lot of us, you know, I say us, I mean from our community, who are saying that Charlie wasn't really killed and it was a psyop and he's off somewhere, right? And
Yeah.
allegedly he's off somewhere with the real Erica, however you want to put that. And like, we don't know where they are, right? So there's the faction that says that. And then what we're watching is a disclosure with this person that's Erica Kirk and all the ridiculously absurd things like her coming out the next day and she's not even upset. And, you know, all the theatrics that we're seeing, like, where do you fall on all this? Like, do you think she's a character that that we're trying to show disclosure? Do you think there was another person that was her? Do you like, because there's so much out there, you know, there's the narrative, there's the truth, there's this rabbit hole of stuff that's going on.
Well, it's weird that we don't know anything about them being kids, right? It all starts at high school, and like I mentioned, I looked. It was weird why I looked into this, because I was like, you know, Erica Kirk and Taylor Swift. You know, they resemble a couple people, right? They were born 322 miles apart.
There is.
And 388 days apart. Youngstown, Ohio. I mean, what about J.D. Vance? Didn't he say he was born in Ohio somewhere in the foothills of Appalachia? And then when he went to college, he had to write a book in order to like write a narrative of how he grew up. So that the only thing that we have from his growing up is a book where in it says he fucked a couch. So his dealings with Peter Thiel and Charlie and all them well before they got on with Trump in 2020. Not even 2020. Because remember, they still, you know, because Charlie was friends with J.D. Vance in 2017, back when they were calling Trump a Nazi. Right. So, you know, and then you look at all the TPUSA stuff, and I don't care what anybody says. In my deepest heart, he was a traitor to America. He's working for the Mormons. And then you had Mossad that was also involved, because when you have the Mormons, you have the CIA. And you have all of these missionaries, you know, going on missions. And then it's almost like, number one, like hell, I would ever send my 17-year-old kid across the world with nobody with him. That's number one. Yeah. I mean, that's like parenting 101. I don't even have kids. And I know parenting 101. I mean, it's just common sense. You have to use logic. I mean, it's all logical. Everybody wants to look all, you know, they want to use all these big jargon. Just keep it simple. Keep it simple so we all can, you know, absorb it. But when it comes to Erica, that's her. She's a demon. Because the thing is, with reptilian, they don't have logic. They don't have like a common sense. Like their shit is strictly boom, boom, boom. See, we have ways and means of communicating with one another to actually create ideas. That's why they hate us, is because we have that ability to actually create the reality that we have. And that's why they don't want us to have a creativity and imagination. Because if you give us creativity and imagination and you unlock all the keys, oh boy, you think they're going to be around?
Are you talking about the demons or are you talking about the reptilians or both?
They're both the same.
So the reptilians, they don't have souls?
No.
Okay. I just want to make that clear.
Flat out evil.
Okay.
I mean, their energy is like a dark energy. That's why they've been wanting to harvest this dark matter for so much, for so long at CERN and everything. It's like, what? And then they're running these stupid ass experiments while we're on the hook, paying for all these drugs that they say they're trying to cure things, and they're over here opening portals, and then they're getting the drugs for cheap, and then everybody here's paying out the ass.
Right.
Just another reason, and they're trying to destroy us. I mean, the EU is evil. That's it. You know, case closed. Because you look at everybody, Ursula, everybody involved. Yeah. And then we had that one by Night God 333 last night with Erica Kirk and her changing into a witch.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, this, at least I'm telling you, I saw him like, is this bitch the Witch of Endor? Because when you look up the Witch of Endor and all that Kabbalism and everything like that, it's like, that's some evil shit. And then you think of Star Wars. I'm like, oh, you know, Endor, full of all these Ewoks and furry creatures. Like, whoa, wait a second. You know, I think Star Wars and Star Trek have a lot more truth in it than we realize. But yet it's science fiction.
Yeah. Well, the Stargates and all that stuff, right?
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
Well, they're telling us. Yeah.
But there's something that came out yesterday that I think is going to blow this whole thing open with this Nancy Guthrie, right?
Yeah.
Why won't they let the FBI test the blood? Why did they send the blood to an independent lab, a private lab in Florida, to have it tested?
Because it's reptilian witch blood, is it?
I think so. Because the red, right? They had the red cross in the drops, and the one R was broken.
Yeah.
Like it made a plus sign, but it was broken. Like a fractured. When you think red, you think blood, right? When you think fractured blood would mean like a Nephilim blood. I mean, can't say they're not here. I mean, people don't even know that there are Nephilim that are actually walking amongst us.
Well, that military guy and the black guy in his Jeep was talking about that story of the military and that turned around and it had a wing. Well, I saw a wing.
Yeah.
He was saying.
It's like, what, 20 feet tall?
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. It's crazy.
You know, it's... Oh, go ahead.
No, I just wanted to ask you one more thing about that, because he was also going on in that video that he was playing all those videos, talking about that pretty arrest and stuff, and he was talking about the AI and that geezer's fingers.
Yeah, did you see that with the hand?
Yeah. Oh,
the fingers, I'm like, what the hell? I'm like...
How much of the stuff we see on the TV
is fake
that they're showing us, do you think is this AI movie? How much of it?
Is this pretty and this good character actually real?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, but unfortunately, you know, everybody's celebrating, oh, the House passed the SAVE Act. Yeah, they say, dickheads, we said. Has to go to Senate. Senate left today. See you in a week.
What I was going to say when you were saying about how there be these Nephilim walking among us, right? Do you remember? I can't remember what interview it was. I don't know if I'm right. Maybe someone in the chat remembers. Trump was on, I think it was with Hannity. It was a while ago. And he said something like, now, if you're not coming from where we're coming from and you're a normie and you're listening to this, he said something to the effect like, these people, you don't even know who they are. They could be walking. They could be sitting next to you on a bus. They could be walking right now. People are thinking, oh, they're just bad people that are anonymous. You know what I mean? We don't know who they are. Like a normie would take it to mean that. But he kind of tells us everything. So kind of like you can't get more obvious than that, right?
Yeah, he's tipping us off because it's
Yeah.
in the drops too. It's like nobody knows who's who.
Yes.
It's like unless you know how many toes they have.
Yeah.
I mean,
Is that
do they
the
have an
only
extra
way to
appendage?
tell?
They have an extra appendage.
Is that the only way to tell?
Or either have an extra appendage or extra finger.
Okay. Or
'Cause-
do they lose, depending on where they are and what the energy is, they can lose their ability to shapeshift. So that's when we see the eyes.
Yeah.
The eyes are the first thing to go.
Eyes.
Yep. And that's why you see the veil break. Because remember back in the day, we never saw this. We saw this. I mean, it may have been like clipped or something like that, but remember the whole V and V the final battle. That's why Gen X is like all primed up for this. Like, wait a second, we've watched this shit before. Let's see this play out. And when we went through V the final battle, right over the Getty Center. I mean, what more do we need?
And that's the thing, like people don't realize that the veil is thinning because of the movement. Like you can't have all this high vibrational energy without it. They kept us in all this low fear and controlled, and then poof, everybody is starting to wake up, and that energy, just by virtue of seeking the truth and changing your perspective from a total asleep normie, right? Even if you're not doing anything and on a podcast, you just changed the vibration.
Mm-hmm.
And there's more of those people, now I think with this, I think it's going to explode because people are, what the fuck?
Well, the more that vibration goes up, it's more like we've been given the fucking sunglasses out of they live, isn't it?
Yep.
100%.
Yeah.
And that Senate vote as well was 218 to 213, wasn't it? Which adds up to 17, obviously.
Let's see.
Yeah, it's 218, 213.
Check what the vote was today in this, because there was because they walked. I mean, they didn't even vote out this morning. They just left.
Yeah, that was yesterday. That was.
Yeah, the House voted on it last night, and the Senate just walked out today.
Yeah,
said we're not even. No. So now you're like, well, what does that do? Well, you can get rid of DHS. You get rid of FEMA. You could put FEMA. You could have the Army Corps of Engineers run FEMA. I mean, what are they doing, right? I mean, they're probably looking for something to do right now too. At least that they will actually help with America, not like FEMA where it's all politically driven. Because the military is supposed to be like neutral, like politically neutral. But now everybody loves Trump because they love peace. Mm-hmm. Wow. Wow, who would have thought that, everybody in the military wanted peace? Because they don't want to die for the stupid shit.
Yeah.
You can't blame them. But if you want to show those videos, because there is a lot of stuff that people is finding in these files that Tom Hanks, King Charles.
What was all the stuff we knew? And when we would say it to anyone, they were like, get out of here. We were, again.
But this one video, it blew me the fuck away about this Cochrane group. I think one of the ones coming up.
Oh my God.
It's Cochrane group, right?
Yeah, the order of Tom Hanks, Erica Kirk, King Charles. That order all right?
Wait, just one more Nephilim question. So Mag1CB1RD says, in every movie, aliens greeting humans is with a raised hand. The meaning of that is to check if humans have 5 fingers on the hand. Is that?
Same thing with the Native Americans. That's why they said how. That's why they always put up their hand how, because they counted the fingers.
Holy crap.
Yep, that's the only way you can spot. Think about the Princess Bride. They put the 6-finger man in that.
Yes. Oh my God, yes.
They put it all out there.
It's interesting. Who did that movie? Rob Reiner.
Yeah.
Things just keep pointing more and more back to maybe he's a good guy.
Who, Rob Reiner?
Well, I don't know because
No way. Oh, Robert, no. I mean, that guy's 20 shades demonic. What he did to his kid? Oh no, that whole family.
That's true?
I'm positive. Rob Reiner is an evil motherfucker. I mean, he is. What he did to his kid and what Carl Reiner was doing to him, it's all down the whole molestation, grooming, stripping away the energy. Because Rob Reiner
I believe you, but where do we know? Like, I know it's a stupid question, but where do we know this from?
Well, because we went through it. Rob Reiner was one of the main funders for Russiagate on the Hollywood side. He was doing the meetings with the CIA and all that for Russiagate.
Oh yeah, because we saw that meeting with him with Brennan
our
and
problems. Rob Reiner.
Yeah.
So did the White Hats? Is this showing that we won because we're using Castle Rock? Because wasn't that his production company? Like, is that showing us that we took over because that was in the drops a long time ago and that was his production company?
Well, that's the Castle Lock. Because you look at a Castle Lock. There's Castle Rock and all Castle Lock. Because remember, how did they find them dead? They're damn near beheaded, right? What do you have to do to lizards that have a vril installed to them? You have to cut the head off. You have to separate the host from the body. It's the only way to kill them. That's it. That's why they're guillotines. They thought they were going to use them on us. Like, no. We're going to use them on you guys. Everything works in reverse.
Now, just talking about this
story went away real fast, didn't it? They locked him up. It's like, it's just like this Nancy Guthrie thing. We found a black glove. It's like, well, I wonder what the DNA is going to say inside the black glove. My thoughts, it's going to say Trump's DNA.
Really?
He was out in public wearing one black glove not too long ago, and they find one black glove here, and you think witch hunt? You think of all the Nest cameras they had? They weren't Ring cameras, they were Nest cameras. And they were not on the cloud. So what the hell were they hooked up to? Who was monitoring her? And the blood was through an arch, the keystone. Because their doorway was an arch where they took her out. So she, the keystone witch, is like, oh, we have to find her to celebrate. Celebrate what exactly? What, you mean this weekend, Lupercalia? Every dog has its day. Yeah, Friday the 13th, going to the 14th, Lupercalia. This is like tonight is going to be one of the biggest blood orgy, satanic, sacrificing nights. Was going to be.
Right, because
was going to be, because now it's like they're all fucked, because now they can just level everything, because now they have everything in place. Because they were going to send the USS George H.W. Bush out to the Middle East. But then they sent the Gerald Ford from the Caribbean up there. It's like, well, why would you hint around with George H.W. Bush, right? I mean, he was Timberwolf, right? And Lupercalia is all about Romulus, Remus, the wolf. Looks like shit's about to go down like today, tomorrow, this week. I mean, if Senate walked out for a week, right? You get rid of DHS, because DHS and FEMA were all created. FEMA was created a long time under Carter, but DHS was created after 9/11 by Michael Chertoff. Yeah. So we're going to come to find out that the Department of Homeland Security wasn't securing our homeland. It was securing their homeland and their secrets that they had against us.
Yeah.
All of them.
Hey, while we're on the topic of that, a whole Israel, like, sort of.
It's England, the UK. I mean, England, the EU, Ukraine, because it was all built around covering up for all the national security, right? So whenever they say, that's the thing of national security, it's not always Israel. Not always at all.
Okay.
A lot of it is Ukraine with all this baby shit.
Yeah.
Because now we're starting to realize that Israel is connected to Ukraine, but then you have Moldova, you've got Estonia. I mean, who else? We know Soros is using a mirror as well. So that's happening. Because when it says Soros takes orders from P in a kill box, it's a mirror. So he's getting his like talking and walking orders from, I would probably say, Pindar, or is Pindar Peter? You know, the Saint Peter. Is it Saint Pindar? And they've been lying to us the whole time.
Well, if it's P and we're thinking mirror, could it be a D?
D.
Well,
P equals C?
Well, I'm just thinking if you have a P like that and you turn it upside down, it's a D, isn't it? That make any sense to anything?
No, because they would have just put it. They would have put a D or a B in it.
Yeah, probably.
Because I'm thinking that the P equals C, that could be Karanzen, which is that evil entity that Aleister Crowley decided to summon. Thankfully, nice job. And I think they were putting these entities into humans. They're fracturing the consciousness, and I firmly believe that's what Epstein and them were doing. That's why when people look at the pedophilia, it's like, yeah, that's fucked up. It really is. The cannibalism, that's beyond fucked up too.
Yeah, no, that's a whole other level.
That's a whole different level. But when you start taking people, you start kidnapping kids, and you start putting them in these rituals where they're using them, they're putting them in near-death experiences in order to use them as a vessel or a conduit to bring in other deities. I think that's where we have to draw the fucking line. I mean, when they said spiritual warfare, and people are like, oh, Epstein's just black. No,
it's much deeper.
And everybody's like, well, Epstein was hanging around. No, they were going to him. They were going to him for access to the mirrors. Because that's how all these people are in all these higher all these people stay in higher power. They literally give sacrifices of children to Moloch through Epstein, through other entities, in order to retain power.
Yeah. Now, I've just got a very couple of quick questions for you. Obviously, we don't talk about football too much because Super Bowl was crap. But obviously, those two halftime shows were, one was an absolute debacle. We've seen it. You know, that was obviously an exposure operation with all this singing in Spanish and all this swear language hidden in the words and all these things. Mm-hmm. But that was a debacle. TP USA, who we've heard so much bad stuff about since we've all been digging into it since Charlie, they had the most patriotic country and western rock and roll show, and it just didn't make any sense. And what sort of direction do you think, or what message was that trying to send? Do you know what I mean? If they are so bad, why did that look so good? That didn't make sense. A lot of that.
The other one didn't look good either. They lied about everything. There were no 20 million views. I mean, shit, we were live and we checked the TPUSA. It was shown an hour ago. It was like 5-point-something thousand. I was like, so far, we've had more people watching our broadcast than they had watching the halftime show.
Yeah, what did they say? It was 20 million, did they?
Yeah, and then they had 667,000 thumbs up. So you're saying that, and they're like, oh, yeah, we had 6 million people viewing. I'm like, are we going back to this shit again?
Yeah. That's what he said on YouTube.
You're saying that was the second highest podcast ever, next to soccer. So you're saying that like there were more people watching a TPUSA event, which is bullshit, than like the most popular game in the world.
Yeah. So do you think the swamp is still in control of a massive amount of YouTube? Yeah.
Hell no. Hell no. Oh no. No, they've been popping up some fresh ones on us. It's like, ooh.
Yeah.
But
good.
When it comes to TPUSA, I think that was going to be a massive ritual sacrifice on both ends. and they ran the bioweapon lab that Ari Solomon, not a Chinese biolab, not Chinese, Ari Solomon, which is funny because who else has that last name Solomon? Erica Kirk's aunt. Isn't that weird? And then you think about they caught that, and they're like, because remember the whole harvest, Make Heaven Crowded. I mean, if you want to talk about some Jim Jones shit, it's like, there you go. That's like, whoa. And then when you find out who the abode of heaven resides in there, that Hadad, and that's Baal, it's like, wait a second. This whole heaven thing, guys, we might want to rethink everything about this whole concept. I think it's a lie it's all control thing. It's like, guys, they're telling us shit that they don't even know about.
Yeah.
It's not like somebody went to the other side and they're like, yeah, hey, it's all good. No, they literally fear you into death so that you have to like comply by strict rules by a church that at the same time are sacrificing and eating babies.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's it. Well, just talking about all this being exposed and everything, I was just thinking, did you remember that ice bucket challenge years back?
Yep.
I heard a long time ago that might have been a white hat operation because clones do not like water and they were trying to root them all out. Did you hear that? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Trump did it.
Interesting.
Trump did it.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
In Vegas, he did it. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why didn't anybody else do it? Odd.
Why didn't anybody else do it? Oh.
I mean, you saw people do it, but we're talking like politicians and
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah.
One last question. Just it may not be related, but before because we want to go to these videos and get into it. Bondi, we saw her passport.
Yeah.
Is that like a rabbit hole to go down after we finish this?
I didn't know anything about this, so yeah. I mean, if you want to show these three, and we can go down that rabbit hole. I have no idea, but if you could put it in the chat,
yeah, I'm gonna pull it up.
Yeah, we'll check that out.
Okay. Yeah, just quickly as well. What do you think of Mike Waltz? Did you see him handed out Munger hats at the UN?
Who was?
Make the United Nations great again.
Who was doing that?
Mike Waltz. Okay.
Man, people are just.
I'll just show this video quickly.
I mean, if you want to circumvent the president, I mean, this is like, the Munich Security Conference.
I have to push back on the premise, "The World on the Brink," which I think was the name of this panel. We are returning the world from the brink, where it was 18 months ago between Ukraine, Gaza, Iran racing for a nuke, the Houthis shutting down the Suez Canal, the refugee crisis in South America, and on and on. So if you focus on the facts and the results, and if we have to reform multilateralism that hasn't been reformed, frankly, in 80 years, then I think that should be welcomed by the world. And in that, guys, I do have my...
Is that for me?
Make the UN Great Again, otherwise known as Munga hat. I brought one for everyone, but they've been so popular. I have one for you, Lanny. We could pass it.
There you go. Thank you. I think we'll give that to Kailash. Luckily, I don't have to respond to your accusations of misinformation because I have the absolute best person to answer this.
I have to push back on the print.
I just found that odd.
That was in 2024, right?
Was it?
Or was that recent?
It's just been posted.
It might have been the 24th Brussels.
Right. Yeah, let me look into that. Yeah.
Because, I mean, could be recent. I mean, make the UN.
Yeah,
I mean, memo.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Should we get Tom Hanks is the first one, I think.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Okay.
A young disabled girl held in slavery at Zorro Run.
Hey, you got to close out that other box. There's the other box there, the Munich Security Conference one.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
That's right.
Good shout. Good shout.
No, maybe we should have kept it up. Maybe we should have kept it up there. Sorry.
In New Mexico, while Jeffrey Epstein was encouraging the A-lister to cut loose and live out his fantasies. Eyewitnesses name it the darkest moment in Epstein's entire career of shame. To them, Hanks and Epstein together were evil incarnate, raw, depraved, and forever beyond redemption. Despite Hanks's long-standing denials that he was an associate of Epstein's, bombshell DOJ files have exposed the A-list actor's close personal ties to the convicted child trafficker. The Epstein files paint a disturbing picture of Hanks, connections that mainstream media have long worked to suppress. But now, as whistleblowers come forward to connect the dots, the truth is becoming impossible to ignore. Before we dive in, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and join the People's Voice Locals community to join our incredible community, support the channel, and gain access to exclusive and uncensored content. Epstein's flight logs have long pointed to one thing. Tom Hanks was a regular on trips to Little St. James, the infamous island. Yet, time and time again, the mainstream media and so-called fact-checkers have circled the wagons, defending Hollywood's golden boy with a barrage of aggressive, questionable denials. They've muddied the waters, smeared the evidence, and left Tom Hanks free to keep living his charmed life, mocking the death of Isaac Cappy, taking vacations with Obama, hanging out with De Niro, untouchable as ever. Then, there are the creepy relics of missing children he parades across Instagram, posted with sly winks, and coded language designed for monsters who understand exactly what they're looking at.
Tom Hanks on his Instagram, he always posts pictures of one glove. Have you seen this? No. So he's fascinated by single gloves. So he finds a lot of gloves randomly. Because whenever he finds one like in the snow, he'll take a picture of it and he'll go, "Who has the other glove?"
Hey,
like what story?
Stu. Hey, what they find outside of Nancy Guthrie's house there, Stu?
Exactly.
Huh? What'd they find?
Yeah.
Odd, isn't it? Weird.
Yeah.
Weird.
It's amazing how these things keep coming back around, isn't it?
Inside Number 9 episode. Yeah, Diddle Diddle Dumpling, which is incredible, by the way. But he always posts these images. And then on this documentary, they're like, okay, today we're going to be looking at this image. They go through all his gloves. Then they find this glove, and it's on the floor. And he's like, look at the spray paint on the pavement. And there's some spray paint, and it says SRC USA or something. And then the guy's like, right, now if we Google this, what comes up? Nothing comes up. He's like, but if we take this to the dark web, and we Google this on the dark web, or this Russian search engine or something, comes up with all this child. Okay?
Unfortunately for Tom Hanks and the elite circle shielding him, the latest DOJ Epstein drop just blew his cover wide open. Hollywood publicist Peggy Siegel, a longtime close friend of Jeffrey Epstein, front and center in these explosive files, gets caught on record specifically mentioning
that bitch is a lizard.
Hollywood publicist Peggy Siegel,
Look at that neck.
Jeffrey Epstein,
Yeah.
center of these explosive files, was caught on record specifically mentioning Hanks. In her own words to Epstein, she casually refers to Hanks being on that infamous island and asks Epstein to pass on a personal message to the A-lister. This is direct, documented connection. Straight from one of the files, the government mysteriously failed to fully redact. The protectors can spin and deny all they want, but the evidence is out there now, and it's damning. But it gets even worse for Hanks. Much, much worse. Handwritten note straight from a witness statement in the DOJ Epstein files, name-drop Tom Hanks by name. The witness testifies that Hanks was a frequent visitor to Zorro Ranch. The witness was a young girl at the time whose family lived near Epstein's compound. She describes how her own Native American family trafficked her to Jeffrey Epstein, a man they treated as a long-term friend and lucrative source of money. She details how her sister was also trafficked to Epstein, though only once. She herself was trafficked dozens of times, and her credibility is enhanced by her detailed description of the ranch. Previously a closely guarded secret, the victim accurately describes the cabins where Epstein held young girls, and the bizarre underground levels featuring laboratories, which only became public knowledge in the past week. This isn't rumor. This is in the official drop. Raw testimony from somebody who was sold into that world. And who shows up in the file as one of Epstein's clients? Jeb Bush. Another? Tom Hanks. The case file notes mention there is a longer list of names, but they are kept secret. How did these explosive names slip through the cracks? Researchers digging into the files have a theory. It's because they were handwritten. The FBI's automated redaction software, designed for typed text, simply missed them. Listen, things are getting downright dangerous out here. The threats are real. The stakes are sky high. But quit? Walk away? No chance. Not when the puzzle pieces are slamming into place faster than ever. Connections on top of connections, proof stacking up. And the cabal that has been ruling over us for centuries, it's staring down destruction like never before.
That right there.
They thought they could rub
That's
out
when they put the frill in.
the kind of predilection Hanks shared with them. Is it any surprise that Epstein and his circle were joking amongst themselves that Tom Hanks should be spoken of in the same company as Gary Glitter and Rolf Harris, two of the most notorious child predators in modern history? Gary Glitter and Rolf Harris, entertainers who spent decades hiding in plain sight. What other possible explanation could there be for mentioning Hanks in their company? But the protection racket is wearing thin, with every new whistleblower stepping into the light, spinning details of the abuse they endured at the hands of this untouchable A-lister. His time as a free man is running out, fast. Coming up next, an eyewitness describes the night that still haunts their dreams. The night Hanks dismembered a disabled girl, while Epstein encouraged him to cut loose and fulfill his wildest fantasies. Warning, this is pure evil, straight from the depths of hell. The global elite are raking in crypto billions, rigging markets to keep regular Americans like you broke. It's a deliberate wall. And as viewers of this channel already know, the globalists want you enslaved, not free. Block Trust IRA is smashing that with their Animus AI trading platform, which has been designed to outsmart the hedge fund managers so that everyday Americans have a chance at real financial independence. This is the #1 crypto play. Now we're hearing directly from a survivor who was trafficked as a teenager straight into Jeffrey Epstein's Zorro Ranch in New Mexico. This isn't recycled headlines. It's a raw first-person account of a place that felt more like a black site prison than a billionaire's desert retreat. Epstein's guests weren't tourists. They were predators flying in on private jets. Senators preaching family values by day, overseeing twisted genetic experiments by night. DNA splicing, forced pregnancies, bodies vanished into desert pits or the barn incinerator. Hollywood A-listers too, treating the ranch like their personal slaughterhouse.
I was 15 when they dragged me through the gates of Zorro Ranch and slammed me into the compound. No ceremony, no lies about modeling jobs, just the cold click of those two-way doors sealing behind me. Somebody was getting paid for me being there, but it wasn't me. The security was insane, like something out of a movie. Cameras everywhere, hidden in the rocks, the trees, even the horse stables. Drums buzzing overhead at night, their red lights like demon eyes. Guards patrolled 24/7, ex-military types with earpieces and no souls. Always watching, always listening. And the underground labs? Those were the worst. Tunnels burrowing deep into the earth, cold and echoing, filled with equipment I couldn't even name. Vials, machines humming with electricity, surgical tables stained with who knows what. You'd get disoriented down there so fast. The passages twisted like a maze. No windows, no sense of up or down. Even the main buildings above ground were designed to trap you. Two-way doors, the kind where one has to slam shut before the next opens, like in a maximum security prison. Click, clack, locked in limbo. You never really knew where you were or how to get out. That's how they kept us compliant, broken. Epstein's pals? They were the elite, the untouchables. Hollywood stars, politicians, names you'd see on billboards or ballots, smiling like they weren't monsters. I'd see them arrive in private jets, laughing with Jeffrey like old buddies, sharing cigars and secrets. There was this one senator from the East Coast, always ranting about family values in public. But down in those labs, he'd oversee these bizarre experiments, genetic stuff, twisted science, mixing DNA, playing God, bodies disposed of like trash afterward, dumped in the desert or burned in pits out back. And the celebrities, God, they were the worst, because they thought their fame made them invincible. Take Tom Hanks, big name, A-lister, the kind who wins awards for playing heroes on screen. But at the ranch, he was a freak, always making these jokes that weren't funny at all. These awkward deadpan quips that hung in the air like poison. He'd say something like, "Why did the chicken cross the road?" to escape the experiments, and then just stare at you, reveling in the silence, the discomfort. It was like he fed off the awkwardness, got a thrill for making everyone squirm. Epstein loved him for it. They'd cackle together at the dumbest stuff. Then there was the baby farm. That's what we called it whisperingly among ourselves. The wing where Epstein bred his legacy. Dozens of girls, women, impregnated against their will. Many of the kids were his own, but not all. Some from his guests. Experiments in cloning or whatever sick fantasy he had. I don't know what happened to most of them. Adopted out? Hidden away? But I know some are out there now, grown up, walking among us. Placed in positions of influence in media, entertainment, even politics.
See?
Epstein's little puppets. Strings still attached. Whether they understand it or not. One night stands out, haunts me every time I close my eyes. Hank shows up, eyes wild, demanding something special. He fixates on this girl, a disabled slave. They called her that bluntly, like she was property. She had some condition, couldn't walk right, but she was beautiful in her own way. Innocent. He had his way with her first, in one of the guest cabins, while the rest of us were locked away. But that wasn't enough. Afterward, he dragged her down to the labs, tools in hand. I overheard him later, bragging to Epstein. I wanted to understand what Joseph Mengele felt, the angel of death, dissecting for science, for curiosity. He dismembered her right there, methodically, like it was art. Blood everywhere, her screams echoing through the vents. When he was done, they hauled what was left to the barn out back, incinerated her in the furnace. Ashes scattered to the wind. No trace, no remorse. Just another night at the ranch. If you're listening, don't let them win. Expose them before they breed more darkness into the world.
For the first time in history, whistleblowers have an opportunity to be heard by the masses, and independent media has a chance to reach an audience and expose the crimes of the elites. This is why the elites are so desperate to censor the people and ban free speech. One of the global elite's most powerful weapons, a weapon few people realize is a weapon, is the VPN on your laptop or your phone right now. They told you it was your shield online. They didn't tell you the fox has broken into the henhouse. Industry leader Proton VPN is funded and controlled by the World Economic Forum, and Israel has bought up the rest of the most popular VPNs, including VPN and private internet access. The truth movement, our movement, is at a critical crossroads right now. We're facing its gravest test yet as we speak. That's why we're revealing the first trustless VPN, VP.net, built so that even if it wanted to spy on you, it couldn't. Even if the feds came knocking, they'd walk away empty-handed. It's built inside a secure enclave, uses military-grade encryption, and stores zero data. Yes, really, zero zilch nada. Sign up today at vp.net/TPV. And you can finally stop asking who's monitoring me, because the answer is they were, but with vp.net, not anymore. Go to vp.net/TPV and take back control before it's too late.
I have a bunch of questions before we even start to dissect this. Okay, if you don't mind. The voice that was talking sounded like AI. Do you think that they do that to protect the, the real voice of the person? And because yeah. Okay. So I just wanted to clarify that because it was so you don't tell a story like that. So secondly, I got to be honest with you. I've read and seen a lot. I literally felt nauseous. I felt literally nauseous in my gut listening to that.
Mm-hmm.
Like it felt like it was coming up.
It makes you sick to your stomach knowing that there's shit's going on, and they're popping these people up, giving them awards.
Well, yeah, it's all the same. It's all the club. It's all the club. So we just accept that that's the club, and this is
you don't want to be in it. That's the thing. That's not a good club.
Right.
I felt sick as a dog when I first found out about that fucking Wilson on that football. What that was.
Yeah.
And obviously, subsequently, we've seen all these, they've all got the pictures on their walls or the white sweatshirts with that red face on it. And was he just saying there that most VPNs are not worth having at all then now?
I wouldn't even use the one he described. Why didn't you capitalize Constitution? I mean, it's really, there's some little things like that it's like, oh, you just got done telling us that, oh, Israel owns all these VPNs, and what are the only... So we're supposed to believe that again now, right? Because all before, they're like, oh, VPNs are safe, and then all of a sudden you start seeing that, oh, well, this one's backed by the Constitution.
Yeah.
So where in the Constitution does it say fucking VPNs? Oh, wait. It's not in there. So, what do you mean it's backed by that? You can't say it's backed by it because you think the internet would be backed by the Constitution too. It's not. Kind of weird.
Yeah.
Man.
So we have to put ourselves in for a moment, right? Like my cousin who we did on this red pilling Renee that we're going to be doing on a regular basis. We're pretty seasoned. I don't know what other word to use because I don't want to make it sound like we're okay with this. It's just that, that we've been able to metabolize it, right? So you got to picture. I keep always going back to this idea of near-death experience and all of that, like when it comes to what the scare event. And I think this could be it. I really do. I think this exposure could be it because, you know, my cousin Renee went to the Super Bowl. He's a normie. He's with a whole bunch of very wealthy friends. They're in Napa. He said all they spoke about was this Epstein list. Pale. He said everyone was pale. And they were all sitting there like, what does it all mean? What are we doing? What have we done? Like, we think we're successful. We think we arrived, but where are we? What do we?
Yeah.
He said he was standing in the shower before he went, and he just wanted, you know, that scene of Ace Ventura no, not Ace Ventura, one of the other films, Me, Myself and Irene, where he's just washing himself off. He felt like that. First time in his life, standing in the shower, he just prayed for everyone he knew. You know, he was physically distressed by what he'd just learned.
I could see that. Because, I mean, even though we're, and I don't, it's not good, guys. I mean, if we're this, I don't even want to say sterilized to it, just, it's like, it's so funny, because I sit here and think to myself, I just can't, like, when we were on with Monday with Corey, and, you know, because she was off camera and all that, and I'm just like, you know, and, you know, it might have sounded like, you know, like there was I'm like, no, it's really fucked up that I could just rattle this stuff off like nothing. Like it doesn't, like.
Well, because we're talking, it goes into our heads. Like when you hear it, it's in your heart, it's in your soul, but then it goes into your head, because if we couldn't do that, we would have breakdowns. It's when you see people in these bad situations start laughing. It's a protective mechanism to lighten it. That's why kids that are abused the way they are spin off and dissociate and have all these different personalities and alters, because the mind couldn't handle it. So I don't think we should feel bad about that. I think we should feel good that our minds are able to do that enough for us to discuss it and get it out and expose it. Otherwise we would just, you know, curl up and we couldn't.
Yeah, and piggybacking off that, you know, think about how many kids they've raped.
I can't.
How many kids are walking around with just completely just, because the ones that they're supposed to fucking trust are the ones that are preying on them every single damn time. Your teachers, entertainment, all these people they look up to, all that bullshit, all that hero worship, and then next thing you know, he's my favorite. No, guys, they don't even know who they are. You think about it. If they're playing other people this many times, they don't have a self.
Yeah.
So
they're dissociative. They have dissociative. They're not. That's the only way they survive. And I don't know. At least what we heard, right, Stu, when we spoke to a couple of these I don't want to call them victims.
Marianne, yeah.
They're gone. Like they're gone. So it's not, when we think of it, we're thinking about being fully conscious to this horror, but they're gone. God, however he made us, enabled the mind to pull you out of it, so you're not actually there. It doesn't mean it doesn't, you know, have an unbelievable effect, but I guess what I'm saying is there's a method that these people, however, I don't know what the horror is before you dissociate. Like, in other words, there's got to be those moments before the alter takes over, or when you're abducted, or when you're do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, I can't even imagine.
Well, that's where the panda eyes come in. If they're abused to that point, that's when they disassociate with the panda eyes. That's when they're fractured.
Well, isn't the panda eyes also a very physical reaction to
sodomy,
because it breaks the blood,
and that's it.
Yeah.
They damage your root chakra that much that you're pretty much fractured for however long they have you here.
Don't forget, a lot of this is done by people's own family members. It is
Yeah.
an absolute shocking amount. Listen, when we talked to Laura, early, right, she said she had a normal life by day, and by night they'd switch her. They'd switch her into this different character, this different body, and she'd be up to all sorts of no good all night. Obviously, doing it. They'd switch her back in the morning, and she'd go back. And I was just going, "Did you never feel tired with us?" She's going, "No," because number one, I didn't know what I was doing, and number two, it's like you have two bodies. So when she was up being abused all night and things, she thought she was asleep. You know, it's
Well, and you know what movie that's from, right? Nightmare on Elm Street.
Freddy Krueger.
Wow.
Because when you fall asleep, your consciousness goes to the cloning lab where your clone is viciously raped, not abducted because it's there. And like there's sheriffs involved. I mean, there's so many that's why we have to look at the ones, the shields on these sheriffs that have the 6-pointed and the 7-pointed stars, especially the 7-pointed. That Seal of Babylon. That one is the same one that Pima County Sheriff has in Arizona. And they're freaking out. It's like, why are you guys freaking out so much about one person? Right? There's 300-something thousand missing kids, and you're putting out an APB over some old broad. Especially, you know, how she treated Trump. Trump's like, oh, yeah, we'll send everybody. What he just told us a fucking witch hunt. Why was the blood sent to a private lab in Florida and they wouldn't let the FBI test it? We want to know what that blood. And then in the article I read, they had Michael Baden come out again. It's like, here's this fucking guy again. He's the same one that, declared Epstein dead. All the same shit. Just, you see his name around all Hollywood and everything. It's like, wonder what he knows. Maybe drag him in.
Yeah.
So that brings me to yesterday we were chatting with, not on the show, just off camera. We had a conversation with Sheila Holm, and she was giving us some insights, I guess, into what's going on down in El Paso. That the air, everything is going to be shut off the airspace for 10 days. And she said there's a major operation there with these kids that they couldn't find.
No, they already lifted it.
What?
They lifted it after 7 hours.
Yeah.
So,
Tom Holland
it wasn't kids. There's videos out there. There were drones out there. They don't know what the hell these were. It wasn't from the cartel either.
So what was it they found precisely that you saw the imagery? I haven't seen that.
Here, let me. I'll put it in the chat.
Stu, I also sent you privately that. Okay, cool.
I mean, and then, oh my God, there was a Jimmy Kimmel video that popped up on my thing.
I think I saw that one.
And it was like, but it was from like 7 years ago.
Yep.
And it says this, Daniel Kaluuya's stance on pizza will shock and horrify you. And it was from Jimmy Kimmel 7 years ago. I'm like, why would that pop up now? Why would that pop? Why? Are you guys trying to, like, I don't know, tell something? So yeah, hold on 1 second. I got it right here.
I'll just put that Pam Bondi thing on the screen for a sec, shall I?
Mm-hmm.
What are you saying about this, Elisa?
No, it shows that it's an Israeli passport.
Yeah.
So my question is, and by the way, she looks very different in that picture. I mean, she always looks different.
In her?
The question is,
why is that Israeli in black and in blue?
I don't know. So I was going to ask you if you thought this was real. Is this just some weird thing? Or are they telling us that, this is another example of keep your enemies closer and a takedown kind of thing? And by the way, if she's born in 1965, okay, usually you don't look like that. She look a little older. I'm saying she's very well preserved.
But that looks like an AI generated.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. So is this just look this way kind of thing? Like, I don't know what to necessarily make of this.
Yeah, I think this is fake.
You think it's fake?
Yeah. I mean, me personally. I mean, just by looking at it. I mean, why would they put nationality Israeli on an Israel passport?
I don't know. It's either BS.
Wouldn't you, in order to get an Israeli passport, wouldn't that necessarily have to be your nationality? So she wasn't born in Israel. So.
Well, didn't they say a lot of these people had, Israeli citizenship? I guess is my point. Are they trying to tell us that she's kind of owned?
Well, dual passports, a lot of them, wasn't it?
Well, I don't know who now. I don't even know who now put it out though. So that's the thing. It's like, well,
yeah,
okay.
I
mean, unless it was one of the files or something like that, but I mean,
it looks fake. But I didn't know if it was trying to tell us a message.
Even
like
the print and everything, it just looks off.
It's weird, right?
The picture and everything, it just looks fabricated, like an AI photo. It's weird.
Okay.
But yeah, I put that.
El Paso one.
Yeah. And then we have those other two also, because those two are, oh man.
Yeah, they're all up ready to go. Right, I'm always muted when I put these videos on because it's a bit more otherwise.
Yeah.
On the 12th of February, 2026, a newly released live video began circulating across social media platforms, drawing immediate and intense attention from viewers across the United States and beyond. The footage, captured from a vantage point overlooking El Paso International Airport, appeared at first to show nothing more than a quiet nighttime skyline. The runway lights shimmered in the distance, aircraft sat motionless on the tarmac, and the city's glow stretched along the horizon. Yet within moments, viewers began noticing something deeply unusual unfolding far beyond the airport grounds. Strange glowing objects could be seen flickering in and out of view above the distant skyline. They did not behave like conventional aircraft lights, nor did they move with the steady rhythm associated with commercial or private aviation. Instead, the lights appeared sporadically, blinking into existence before fading just as suddenly. Some hovered in fixed positions, while others drifted slowly, almost as though observing the city below. The longer the footage played, the more unsettling the phenomenon became. Eyewitnesses who had already been following developments surrounding the airspace shutdown immediately connected the lights to earlier reports. In the hours before the unprecedented closure of El Paso's airport, residents across the region had described seeing glowing aerial shapes moving silently above the desert skyline. Many had dismissed these sightings at first, attributing them to distant aircraft or atmospheric distortions. However, the newly released video appeared to validate those earlier accounts in a way that was difficult to ignore. What made the footage even more compelling was the behavior of the objects themselves. At several points in the recording, multiple glowing orbs appeared simultaneously, forming loose formations before separating again. Their movements were fluid, yet deliberate, as though guided by an unseen intelligence. Observers noted that the lights showed no visible propulsion, emitted no sound, and maintained perfect stability even while changing direction. For many viewers, the resemblance to the glowing orbs previously reported above New Jersey was impossible to overlook. In that earlier wave of sightings, residents had described nearly identical luminous spheres hovering silently, sometimes in coordinated patterns. The similarities between the two events led many independent researchers to believe that both incidents were connected, part of a broader pattern of aerial phenomena appearing over populated regions. Adding to the intrigue were accounts from individuals living near the airport who claimed to have seen structured craft accompanying the orbs. Some described drone-like machines flying in precise formations, moving in synchronization with the glowing lights. These drones, however, did not resemble conventional commercial or recreational models. Witnesses emphasized their unusual silence, sharp maneuverability, and ability to remain perfectly still mid-air for extended periods. Theories began to spread rapidly. One widely discussed explanation suggested that the objects were advanced military drones undergoing classified testing. Supporters of this idea pointed to the region's proximity to military installations and training zones. Yet critics of this theory raised an important question. If such testing were taking place, why would it occur directly above a major civilian airport, one of the busiest transit hubs in the region, rather than in restricted desert airspace far from public visibility? Others proposed that the objects represented experimental reconnaissance platforms designed for surveillance. Their silent operation, steady hovering, and coordinated movement suggested technology far beyond publicly known drone capabilities. If true, this would imply the presence of aerial systems operating under extreme secrecy, capable of monitoring large urban regions without detection. Official statements, however, offered a far more grounded explanation.
Always a balloon, huh?
It claimed that the airspace closure had been prompted by unidentified drones originating from across the border. According to federal sources, these devices posed a potential security concern, leading to the classification of the restricted zone under special defense measures. Government representatives later stated that military forces had intervened in response to the aerial incursions. Despite these assurances, many observers remained unconvinced. The scale and duration of the shutdown struck critics as disproportionate to the alleged cause. Closing a major airport and surrounding airspace for 10 full days, grounding every category of flight, seemed excessive if the threat involved only conventional drones or balloons. Aviation analysts and civilian observers alike struggled to reconcile the severity of the response with the simplicity of the explanation. Amateur investigators who studied the video footage frame by frame began presenting alternative interpretations. They argued that the glowing objects displayed characteristics inconsistent with traditional drones. The lights did not blink in standardized aviation patterns, nor did they cast illumination consistent with navigation systems. Instead, they radiated a steady luminescence that seemed to originate from the objects themselves. Some researchers went further, suggesting that the term drone was being used as a convenient label rather than an accurate description. According to these analysts, officials often avoided using more provocative terminology when addressing unexplained aerial events. By categorizing the objects as drones, they could provide a familiar framework that prevented public alarm while maintaining operational secrecy. As the hours stretched into days following the unexplained aerial incident above El Paso, a powerful shift began to take hold in public perception. What had initially been viewed as a confusing but isolated aviation event gradually transformed into something far more layered in the minds of observers. Across digital platforms, independent research communities, and local discussion networks, one idea began to dominate the conversation: that the entire situation bore the unmistakable hallmarks of a carefully orchestrated cover-up. To many, the first sign that something was being suppressed lay in the speed of the official response. Authorities moved swiftly to present a grounded explanation, attributing the disruption to conventional aerial hazards. Yet while the explanation arrived quickly, the depth of information that followed felt strikingly thin. There were no detailed technical briefings, no publicly released surveillance imagery, and no extended breakdown of the decision-making process that had led to the unprecedented airspace shutdown. For an event that had halted all categories of flight across a major urban region, the absence of transparent documentation felt, to many, deeply unusual. Observers began asking why a situation of such magnitude had generated so little verifiable data. Aviation incidents, even minor ones, typically produced extensive reports, radar analyses, and procedural summaries. In this case, however, updates remained minimal, carefully worded, and limited in scope. The silence that surrounded operational specifics only deepened suspicions that information was being intentionally withheld rather than simply processed. Fueling this perception were accounts emerging from residents living near the outer boundaries of the restricted zone. Individuals described witnessing logistical movements that seemed disconnected from a standard aviation precaution. Some reported convoys of unmarked vehicles traveling under darkness toward remote desert corridors. Others spoke of temporary access restrictions appearing along lesser-used roadways, accompanied by heightened security patrols. Though none of these claims received formal acknowledgement, their consistency across separate testimonies contributed to the growing belief that parallel operations had been unfolding beyond public visibility. Independent aviation analysts added another layer to the narrative. Civilian flight tracking enthusiasts, accustomed to monitoring transponder data, noticed irregular gaps in publicly accessible air traffic logs. Certain aerial signatures appeared briefly before vanishing from open tracking platforms, while still registering on specialized monitoring systems associated with defense observation. To these researchers, the pattern suggested selective data filtering, an intentional narrowing of what civilian networks were permitted to see. The language embedded within official advisories also became a focal point of scrutiny. Notices referenced national defense airspace classifications and special security contingencies, but avoided offering detailed descriptions of the aerial objects that had triggered such extraordinary measures. This absence of technical specificity struck many as deliberate. If the situation had involved familiar technology, critics argued, precise categorization would have been both possible and expected. The refusal to define the object in concrete terms instead implied that it did not fit neatly within established aviation frameworks. As these strands of uncertainty wove together, the idea of a cover-up evolved from fringe speculation into a widely held conviction among observers. For those following the incident closely, the closure of the skies no longer appeared to be solely about protecting air traffic. Rather, it seemed designed to create a controlled observational vacuum, an environment in which aerial activity could unfold without civilian interference, documentation, or widespread scrutiny. Discussion forums filled with analyses proposing that the shutdown window had allowed authorities to monitor, track, or even interact with the unidentified presence away from public eyes. The prolonged duration of the restriction only reinforced this belief. 10 full days of grounded aviation, critics argued, provided ample time for containment operations, aerial assessments, or recovery missions that would never be disclosed. The perception of suppression was further amplified by the emotional tone of public communications. Statements reassured residents that no immediate danger existed, yet offered no substantive elaboration beyond that assurance. To many, this combination of calm messaging and informational restraint felt carefully calibrated, not to inform, but to pacify. Over time, the cover-up narrative embedded itself deeply within the cultural memory of the event. It was no longer discussed merely as an aviation anomaly, but as an instance in which extraordinary aerial phenomena had intersected with governmental secrecy. In this framing, the restricted airspace, the withheld data, the unusual ground activity, and the controlled language all formed pieces of a larger concealed reality. The silence surrounding the incident only fueled these suspicions. Requests for additional footage, radar data, and flight records produced limited results. Authorities maintained that the situation had been resolved and that no further details would be released for security reasons. For many, this lack of transparency reinforced the belief that the public was seeing only a fraction of the full picture. Meanwhile, the video itself continued to spread, analyzed by aviation enthusiasts, optical experts, and independent researchers. Enhanced versions revealed subtle variations in brightness among the orbs, suggesting depth and distance rather than simple lens artifacts. Their synchronized appearances hinted at coordination, as though responding to signals or commands invisible to observers on the ground. Residents of El Paso described a strange stillness in the nights that followed. With commercial flights grounded, the usual chorus of aircraft engines had vanished. Against this quiet backdrop, any unusual light in the sky drew immediate attention. Reports of additional sightings began surfacing, though none were captured as clearly as the footage released on that February evening. As discussions intensified, the event became a focal point in the broader conversation about unidentified aerial phenomena. The combination of eyewitness testimony, video evidence, and an unprecedented aviation shutdown created a narrative that many found impossible to dismiss. Whether viewed through the lens of defense technology, atmospheric science, or something more extraordinary, the incident stood apart from routine aerial anomalies.
Yeah.
So what do you think?
They keep on talking about this drones, right? Drones. Well, there's low droning in necromancy. Probably meaning you could change your consciousness to something else, right? Just like when they had all those drones in New Jersey, and Trump's like, hey, they know what they are. Government knows exactly what they are. Same thing. What are they hunting? Are they using psionics, PSI, psionics, in order to transfer their consciousness into these orbs in order to, like, search? Like, instead of using, like, a drone, like a military drone, these orbs, they probably have, you know, either they can all span, like, more of areas, and then if you see dark vehicles on the ground, so what do they do? Are they rounding them up, or are they bringing entities to the, you know, to the surface? I mean, like, are they hitting that spot with frequency and then having whatever was underground come up?
What year was that all from?
What's that? This?
The film we just saw.
That was just a couple days ago.
This was most recent.
Yeah. That's when they said they shut down the El Paso down for 10 days. And you start seeing 10 days. It's like, and then after 7 hours, 7 out of 10, it's like
7 out of 10 plane crashes.
Yeah. Last 17's out there.
Yeah, 20 hours ago that was uploaded, Elisa.
Okay. So, I mean, who do you think is in control at this point?
Oh, those are the white hats.
The white hats. So you think they're trying to dismantle something in that area?
Got it. It's right on the border. I mean, and these airports, nobody knows what's underground these airports.
But you don't think it's kids, do you? I mean, that's what Sheila said. They found.
Well, I think Tom Homan just said they found another 4,000, didn't they? Somewhere under 4,000. It's everywhere. I don't want to say perfect place in a good sense, but what a perfect place to build something like that is when you're building an airport and
Yeah.
build all this shit underneath it, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
And who's going to look?
Who's allowed in an airport to have a look around?
It's perfect.
Just like Denver.
Yes. And aren't there some stories about Denver where people got on the wrong elevator or whatever, and they went?
There's some that we dug into Denver. I mean, we have a lot of stuff on Denver. There's
really,
yeah,
that would be a really interesting. We'd love to talk about that more on here at some point because.
Well, I need to get a hold of the guy that got a hold of me when we went to Vegas, and he pulled me aside, and he's one of the last engineers.
Really?
Alive from Denver. And he's like, it's not what you think it is at all. Queen Elizabeth II had a hand in this. That helps out. Yeah. I mean, they built a lot of stuff on the ground. I mean, a lot. Like, I think that's where all the computers for the Snow White computers were.
Yeah.
You know, I watched a show about, oh God, maybe 2 years ago. I can't remember. And it was with Gene Decode. And he was literally going through where all the dumbs were.
There's so many of them.
And which ones, I mean, it was like rattling off a list, you know what I mean? And which ones had been, I guess, liberated, cleaned, and which ones still weren't. And so...
Yeah.
Is it still going on? That's my point. You know what I mean?
I mean, yeah, they're still fighting it. I mean, you know, when we look at it, people think that like everybody say, "Oh, well, I can't believe it's not done." It's like,
I know.
Now when you look at the scope of it, and now with the Epstein stuff dropping, and then the media being completely silent about it.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's like, what do you have to hide? And the thing is that we've only looked up certain keywords, right? We haven't looked up names like George Clooney, like all these other people, and see how far they are in these. Because when he brought up Tom Hanks, I'm like, shit, you know, because I was talking to Dean about, you know, some of the names that we have, like some of these diabolical names, you know. But, you know, the geneticists and all that, they were George Church. We already went through them with the Edge Foundation. And wait till people find out about Matt Groening from The Simpsons, that he's involved deep in this.
Wow.
So how many kids did he have to sacrifice in order to stay on air? And to get all these secrets about, yeah. Because they've been right about a lot of things. 9/11, remember all that stuff too? How'd they know about that? Huh? And then you had Ghislaine Maxwell saying, oh, how do you like it? 6 days after. Bragging about it.
Do you think from your research, besides Denver, and now we're seeing El Paso, has anything else come up on the radar of other airports? I mean, if we know about and we've known about, right, the Getty Museum and what's up, like these places that are frequented, you know, like they're just like, oh, you know, and they're tourist attractions and all this kind of nonsense. So is there anywhere else that is like there's some weird anomalies that you found?
Is it the name of the Phoenix airport, the Phoenix Sky Airport?
I don't know. I'll check.
Where is that in Phoenix? Yeah, Arizona.
I would look at Phoenix too.
Why is that?
They had a Rothschild as a mayor.
Phoenix Sky Harbor International Airport.
Yeah. What are they running out of Phoenix? Because all these trafficking maps, they go to Phoenix, and then they go to Vegas where they're flying them out. It's like when we look at like the ones that are on the border, the airports on the border, like those are the ones. I mean, Fort Huachuca is on the border. It's like if there's anybody that could have stopped anybody coming in, you would have thought having a military fort right there.
Yeah.
Would have done it, but
now they have other city-owned airports, Phoenix Deer Valley Airport and Phoenix Goodyear Airport. So
yeah.
you're in Phoenix, in the Phoenix area. So I'm not
stag.
I'm not like an expert on this, but I gotta think there's tunnel systems that connect all these airports that are right hubs of different right? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I would not doubt it at all. To the prisons, to the airports, everything. Because, I mean, you think about the privatized prisons, too. It's like, what are they moving? And then you have these people that are, like, educating these just pricks behind bars about, like, Antifa and bringing in books like that. And it's like, I thought you're supposed to be serving time. You know? Big rocks and the little rocks. Jim. And you throw all these guys in there. It's like, well, and then you give them the information and the connections they have on the outside. It can get really, really bad, really, really quick.
Yeah.
Well, that's the whole point of Disney World, isn't it? That you hear the tunnel system under there is so immense and all that. And because the excuse they give is so there's no disruption above ground when they're making
there's no garbage.
Yeah.
But we know something went on there because you remember those pictures of the floods in Disney in Florida.
And then when they mentioned Disney's a distraction, what if it's who created Disney?
Well, CIA.
And who was the governor? Claude Kirk. And his wife was Erica Kirk. Harvester of Souls, right?
This was in the 60s? The state when they, or whatever, I guess 71 is when they officially opened Orlando.
Yep. And what does Cinderella's castle look like? Doesn't look like a church. Kind of weird, isn't it? Because people go there to worship Mickey Mouse. It's literal, when you think harvesting souls through a church, they were literally using Walt Disney World. I mean, Walt Disney World was like the child trafficking hub for decades. But nobody heard anything about it. It's all NDAs. So how do you have this many missing kids? And then you start hearing about the tunnels, especially in Disneyland, how they have, where like a small world, like there's a secret one that door opens and it kicks kids. It's like,
but I have to tell you, this is just my opinion. I don't really think they were taking kids from Disney with their parents, because with the hundreds of people I know, you would have heard some. I think because there were so many kids, there was so many families, no one was going to be curious about the kids that might have been part of being trafficked, and maybe they were coming from other places. They were already abducted and they were using that place. Like, no one would suspect if there's a guy walking with 10 kids, because everybody's there on vacation.
Well, exactly. And maybe, you're talking about kids taken from their parents and stuff, but maybe many of those kids, they weren't their parents anyway.
Right, exactly.
But who was taking them? But the Masons were taking them because it's an easy way of getting your harvest quota in. I mean, where else can you go? The happiest place on earth, right?
I know.
Maybe when they were moving the kids through there and using all their transportation and their underground, because don't forget, so many of these kids came through CPS. They came through, even the ones that we know from people, they were just regular kids going to school, but they were trafficked by day. So they, you know what I'm saying? Like they went back home or whatever home was, but they were being used.
They were selling kids under Disney too. They had a room where they'd bring a kid in, and then they had phones all around it, and then they would bid on it, and then they have a van take the kid out and everything. The shit that goes on in Disney, but it being a distraction, what if it's the whole Claude and Erica, right? then you go to now with Charlie and Erica, because does Charlie really look like his dad or mom? Not really. Not at all. Kind of weird.
Yeah, if they were his
So
dad and
was
mum.
he adopted, and then because his dad was an architect, right? Think about Freemasonry and architects.
It's very funny. You just mentioned that about the, it says that 1971, right? Is that the year Disney opened?
It's an 18.
It marked the transition from Florida's first Republican governor since Reconstruction, who was Kirk, to a new Democratic administration under Askew. Now, Kirk served till governor until January 5th, 1971.
He's only there for one term. A one-term governor, and all that goes on, and then he's gone. Anybody else find that a little bit like just offsetting? Because then he met her in Brazil when he was in Brazil. And then she comes up here to Florida, where they also have that private blood, testing facility. We need to find out where they're not going to tell us, but why would you send it clear across the country? Why wouldn't you just take it to the hospital, test it there? I mean, they have labs that you can actually, why are you blocking the FBI in this? I mean, you guys were crying and we find it a little odd because nobody acts like that about the kids, but they're acting like that about an 84-year-old woman.
Yeah.
And they made sure to say that, her watch was left behind. Watch to watch. If you notice, they're all wearing big watches. Watches. I mean, you could literally swap the I for an E in terms of witches. So what if that is the E that's in a kill box from a couple of days ago? Because then it's like watch to watch. And they're always concentrating on these watches. And Peter Avila and everybody that dealt with Epstein always had a big watch on. These Apple watches. So now when we look at those Apple shipments that they show in the drops, were those laptops or were they watches?
Right.
Or were they both?
Right.
And who's programming them? They're going somewhere first to get programmed, but by what and by who? Weird. Real weird.
Yeah.
And
you can put this second video.
oh yeah, definitely, because these are just
Erica Kirk one. This is
yes.
Just put
Yes.
one point. Has this got a crypto advert in the middle of it, like that last one?
You could skip back.
If there's nothing in it, I'll just skip
just
through.
Okay.
All right, guys.
The Epstein files aren't just leaking, they're hemorrhaging secrets that could bring empires crashing down. Right now, teams of investigators are locked in on one name, Erica Frens v. Kirk, the woman who inherited Turning Point USA and now stands at ground zero of the biggest exposure in modern history. Investigators have uncovered explosive new intercepts revealing that Erica and her mother were speaking in code words directly with Jeffrey Epstein, coordinating nodes in a global child trafficking architecture that spanned continents. Follow the money and it gets uglier. A real estate funds company, Epstein's favorite laundering vehicle, funneled dark cash straight into Erica Kirk's hands, into Turning Point USA coffers, into the very bloodstream of conservative America. It was an Israeli intelligence masterstroke, infiltrate, compromise, and turn patriots into unwitting foot soldiers for a foreign power's quiet war on sovereignty. You deserve the truth, unredacted truth. Buckle up. We're tearing it apart layer by layer, starting now. Before we dive in, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and join the People's Voice Locals community to join our incredible community, support the channel, and gain access to exclusive and uncensored content. The cabal is teetering on the edge, closer to total collapse than ever before. Epstein's emails, freshly exposed, are exposing the darkest corners of their operations to the light. This week, we blew the lid off those heavily redacted Epstein emails, and the code words jumped straight out at us. Words that point directly to the Kirk family, Erica Frens V. Kirk and her mother Laurie Frens V, the woman shrouded in mystery, linked deep into Israeli intelligence circles, operating under more than a dozen known aliases. These two weren't on the periphery. Investigators have revealed they were in direct coded communication with Jeffrey Epstein himself. Emails with references to Romanian girls, Romanian orphanages, references to cash transfers, and huge payoffs to ensure ironclad loyalty inside the elite's global child trafficking web. This isn't speculation. It's emerging from the Epstein files. And that's why Turning Point USA has descended into full-blown paranoia, staff being axed without warning, while shadowy investigators, hired guns with no names, are dispatched to former employees' homes, cameras clicking, dossiers thickening, every move documented, like prey marks for silencing.
What's up? What's the deal here? Are you trying to come intimidate us, or?
No, sir.
No,
sir.
not at all. No,
not at all. I was asked to take pictures. That's it.
Okay.
That was it.
You're just asked to come and take pictures of the house that we live at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you said your name is.
Yes.
What's your last name?
I don't give out my last.
Yeah, you don't give out your last name. I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I have this all documented right now, and I'm going to report this to the police.
Okay.
I'm going to get your license plate as well. And this is all going to be documented. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
All right. Nice to meet you.
Yeah. Nice to meet you too.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. You're welcome.
Turning Point USA is not just cleaning house, they're hunting ghosts. And the fear is palpable. Because the deeper this rot goes, the more they realize how many already know what they've done. Before we get to the damning financial trail linking Epstein and Erica Kirk, it's worth looking at the role she might have played for him. Just like Ghislaine Maxwell, currently serving 20 years in federal prison, Erica has been busted sexting underage girls, dating back to at least 2013. We're talking about sexual innuendo with a minor, gifts in the mail, full-blown grooming. And it even appears she was luring the underage girl to Los Angeles. Here's James Lee.
Here is where we start to get a string of messages that I think are undeniably very weird as it pertains to Erica Kirk, okay? This is from February 13th, 2014. Jill tweets, "Why did Erica Frens V just send me this?" Crying, laughing emojis. And the meme here is Nemo, "This Valentine's Day, I'm going to touch your butt." March 6th, 2014, we now have a screenshot of alleged text messages between Erica Frens V and Jill. And Erica allegedly wrote, "Let me call you on hold, sweetheart. Give me a sex. Wow. Okay, laughing emoji. Sex too, but not from you. Lol. Holy shit. You always make me laugh." Erica responds, "I don't bat for the other team just yet." Now, I don't know about you, but that appears to be a little bit on the flirtatious side. I think if that's between two consenting adults, I think that would be kind of funny. Seems like a little bit of a typo. But once again, this is between a 25-year-old and a 15-year-old. March 12th, 2014. "I'd be so lost without Erica Frens V." This photo that Jill tweeted out is from April 5th, 2014, and it looks like a gift from Erica Frens V. Jill tweets, "Getting this in the mail from Erica Frens V." And the note, if we enlarge this, says, "Happy sweet 16, beautiful girl." And this is how we know that Jill is underage. "Keep strong in faith and know that you're loved. But most of all, never forget that you are perfect and amazing just the way you are. I am so proud of you. Today is the first day of another 365-day journey around the sun. Enjoy the trip, boo. Love you, E." This is from 2:19 p.m., June 7th, 2014. Jill tweets, "This has to be the most heartfelt compliment I've ever gotten. Best compliment yet." And this is the accompanying text message screenshot from Erica Frens V, where she writes, quote, "You have the most stunning features." Jill responds with, "Best compliment ever." Erica writes, "Your eyes, your lips, your skin, you're absolutely beautiful." Jill responds, crying emoji, "You're making me cry." This one actually is right before she tweeted out that screenshot. This is from 12:42 p.m. on June 7, 2014. Jill tweets, "Why doesn't Erica Frens V live in Michigan?" Assuming Erica responds with some kind of message there. And Jill responds with, "At Erica Frens V, I need to plan a trip to LA this summer, heart emoji."
The network Erica and her mother allegedly sustained wasn't just criminal, it was systematic, protected. And now, the veil is tearing apart. What they buried is rising, fast. After the break, we dive into the stunning financial connections between Epstein and Erica Kirk, uncovered by investigators in the Epstein files. Don't go anywhere. The news in November last year that Erica was connected to the elite Corcoran Group, listed as a realtor on their website and LinkedIn profile, despite the fact that she doesn't appear to have ever really worked for them.
Wait till you see this. This makes everything make sense.
We also broke the news that the Corcoran Group, fronted by Barbara Corcoran, was closely connected to Jeffrey Epstein. And surprise, surprise, Barbara and the Corcoran Group were found countless times in the Epstein files. Most of the emails are about property sales, as you'd expect. But here is where it gets really dark. The Corcoran Group are also found in emails that discuss blackmail and underage children visiting Jeffrey Epstein's house. On June the 1st, 2009, Roger Shank emailed Epstein and warned him about a blackmail plot against him. 2 15-year-old girls were going to his house so their fathers could sue him. Epstein wasn't surprised. He simply asked who they were. The response implicates the Corcoran Group in Palm Beach. Yes, Erica Kirk's Corcoran Group, which is why the code words and redacted financial transactions in the Epstein files are a rabbit hole that must be fully exposed.
So after Charlie Kirk had passed away, we started seeing these articles pop up, which made me dig into Erica Kirk, and I found the Romanian Angel stuff. That video blew up, but I didn't have any lawyers sent after me. Instead, it was private investigators asking how I found this information, asking me to send them links. I knew at that point that I was on the right track, was suspecting that Erica Kirk could be involved in something bigger than what we're being told. So I've kept digging, because in every homicide investigation, a potential suspect is the spouse, especially when they have so much to gain, right? Now, this article that was posted shortly after Charlie Kirk's assassination by USA Today states that Erica Kirk worked as a real estate agent in New York City for the Corcoran Group. So if we're to believe the story that she works as a real estate agent for the Corcoran Group, then her boss would be Pamela Liebman, because Pamela has been the president and CEO of the Corcoran Group since 2000. At least that's what the public has been told. Now, in this Epstein document, that's an official name search alias for Lynn Forrester, aka Lindy Rothschild.
Hey, Stu, can you rewind it a little bit right there? All right. Now, watch the phone number. Watch the phone number they put up. Oh, you could play back normal, yeah. Because they'll play a phone number right here.
What?
Yeah, play it right there. There, you can play it right there. Right there, fine.
We started seeing these articles pop up, which made me dig into Erica Kirk, and I found the Romanian Angel stuff. That video blew up, but I didn't have any lawyers sent after me. Instead, it was private investigators asking how I found this information, asking me to send them links. I knew at that point that I was on the right track, was suspecting that Erica Kirk could be involved in something bigger than what we're being told. So I've kept digging, because in every homicide investigation, a potential suspect is the spouse, especially when they have so much to gain, right? Now, this article that was posted shortly after Charlie Kirk's assassination by USA Today states that Erica Kirk worked as a real estate agent in New York City for the Corcoran Group. So if we're to believe the story that she works as a real estate agent for the Corcoran Group, then her boss would be Pamela Liebman.
Okay, right here. Stop.
305-330-66662. Okay.
Yeah.
It's a Miami number, Florida number.
Yeah, 330, and then you have 6662, and then the next name that she mentions after Pamela Liebman is Lynn Forrester de Rothschild, that owns the Corcoran Group. So where did she go to school to be a real estate agent?
Who?
When did she
Erica?
find time for that? Yeah, there was no real estate. It was all hustling kids, because you think you're selling properties. Nobody said what properties.
They're a real
estate.
But they're a real estate group, obviously. I mean, they're all in the Hamptons, and I used Corcoran when I bought my house, you know, because the lower realtors are just doing their job, right? They need to have a front, if you will.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's the thing. That's their front is real estate.
Right. Properties.
And then the back end, they're doing this. So. Yeah, but seeing her own it, Lynn Forrester de Rothschild,
super wealthy, Corcoran,
and that bitch is a lizard. She didn't even have her own kids, nothing.
Who?
Yeah, that Barbara Corcoran.
Oh, Corcoran. Okay.
Yeah. And when you look at her, like when you pull up on Wikipedia and you pull up, just look at her, and you think Mark Cuban, her, and all them on Shark Tank,
right?
Huh. Crushing people's hopes and dreams, huh? Yeah. Weird. So yeah, you can finish it. Sorry. But yeah, the 666.
Has been the president and CEO of the Corcoran Group since 2000. At least that's what the public has been told. Now, in this Epstein document that's doing an official name search and alias for Lynn Forrester, aka Lindy Rothschild, it states that under her work affiliations that she is the Corcoran Group Inc. president. And it even shows her email, which is redacted. Now, this is a bit of a tinfoil hat conspiracy theory, but if Erica was involved in anything sketchy and she needed to receive payment, having her work for the Corcoran Group as a real estate agent would be a very easy way to launder money, right? Now, after Epstein's arrest, Lindy Rothschild had attended private events with Jeffrey Epstein. So yeah, this lady, she was very close with Jeffrey Epstein. And she just so happens to be listed in the Epstein files as the president of the company that Erica Kirk works for. Out of respect for Charlie Kirk and his wishes to release the Epstein files, she better cut ties with them.
It's no wonder Turning Point USA has descended into full-blown paranoia, purging employees that they fear have been leaking information, and intimidating former employees by sending private investigators to their home. The money trail doesn't lie. Epstein's wire transfers and Turning Point USA's connections to Israel are now at the center of a story that threatens to unravel far more than anybody expected.
My name is Joshua Peterson. I'm a former representative for Turning Point USA, and I have a story to tell about when I was at training at Turning Point. So the first couple nights went as you would expect. It's pretty long and strenuous work. We were being trained very vigorously, and after the first few days, we were told that we were going to have some group time. And the first thing that I thought about that was that's going to be awesome. We get a group bond and stuff like that. So I get paired up with these two specific people who I cannot name currently, but they take us out. And the first thing that I found very odd about, this Christian conservative company is they rented 2 stripper vans to take us out to the city. No strippers, but it was like there were stripper poles inside the vans. Very odd, very unlike, their values, but okay. And then once we got down to the bars in Arizona, they started getting us drunk. The former reps were, and very drunk at that. And then they started singling out people, and they would pull them out one by one to go outside and smoke like a cigarette. Now, when it was finally my turn to go and talk to them, they approached me and they asked me, hey, what are your views on Israel? And I just told them, I think Israel's a good country. At the time, I thought so, at least. And they told me, okay, well, what do you think about Mossad and Israeli forces? And I was like, they're all right. Yeah. And they were like, what if we told you we're part of it? Israeli groups and forces. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. And I'm like, and you work for Turning Point, right? And they were like, yeah, we do. We've been working for Turning Point for the past 4 or 5 years now. Now, at the time, I did not know if the company knew of this. I did not know if they were infiltrating the company by any means, but they were Israeli agents within Turning Point USA. And I knew that there were more as well. And there was many more of them in Turning Point. And it was a very concerning thing for me and a couple of the representatives that we noticed. And we did end up bringing it up to our administration at Turning Point that this was going on. And they said they would take care of it. And sure enough, nothing was done about it. There was absolutely zero retaliation towards those representatives that were a part of Israel. And there was nothing. And that was very disappointing to see, and honestly, a huge red flag for a lot of us.
Here's the real danger. If we're not careful, this story is going to become the Building 7 of our generation. Smoking gun evidence buried by the government and mainstream media, both determined to gaslight the public once again. This is why the elite are desperate to censor the masses and ban free speech. One of the global elite's most powerful weapons, a weapon few people realize is a weapon, is the VPN on your laptop or your phone right now. Industry leader Proton VPN is funded and controlled.
I've seen the video of that guy in the car before.
So just a couple of little points that of course, this is on the internet. So, we're going to take it with a grain of salt. But according to this, she sold the company, Barbara Corcoran, in 2001.
Yeah.
Okay, right. To NRT for $66 million.
Yeah, 6'6".
Yeah. And according to what they're saying that they go into a whole thing about her facelift. She's had 3 facelifts, an eye lift, a neck lift, a brow lift, filler, all this other shit. However, they say that she gave birth to a son, Tom, via IVF using her sister's donor egg. And then she later adopted her daughter, making her the biological mother of one and adoptive mother of the other. Is she married?
But if she used her sister as a surrogate, how's she a biological mother? She didn't give birth. So there's two kids that have no connection to her.
Right. And they're saying biological. Is that because she gave birth? You know what I'm saying? That doesn't make her the biological mother if she used someone else's egg, right?
Well, then
Exactly.
If she's not able to discharge eggs, then how could she be a surrogate to her own kid?
Well, no, she could still, they could have implanted it. She could have still had a uterus. I know plenty of people who use donor eggs because their eggs are no good. But technically speaking, she was the surrogate. She wasn't the biological, because the egg was someone else's, right? So then her husband, do you know anything about this husband, Bill Higgins?
No, and I'm trying to find stuff on him. He was in the Navy and the FBI. Isn't that funny? Huh. Wonder what's in the Navy. Was he intelligence?
Oh, but it says he died. Wait a minute. Kidney and liver failure in May 2001. Okay. When did they purchase her company? He died in May of 2001, and her company was purchased in 2001. But when? Doesn't that sound a little strange? Right?
And what else happened in 2001? Elisa?
Mm-hmm. So he died in May.
Just in time for September, 66 mil. And then all of a sudden you have
September 2001. She is when the sale of Corcoran happened. And her husband dies in May. And
what date in September?
What's that?
What date in September?
It doesn't say. It just says, that's what I'm trying to find out. It just says, I'm sure there's a way to tell. Let's see.
Sounds a bit odd.
Sounds a little strange, right?
A little. I mean, that right there is like, what?
And especially, was that, yeah.
Yeah, but just like something, you were talking about watches and Apple Watches and talking through watches and that sort of thing. I just typed in watch the water.
September 24th. I'm so sorry.
Right. I just typed in watch the water. Loads of stuff comes up, obviously. I just typed in water the watch and it comes up with Apple Watch. Right. It's got a water lock on it. I just thought that was interesting. And that was the first thing that came straight up when I typed in water the watch.
Water lock?
Yeah.
Like
water lock is a feature on the Apple Watch Series 2 and later models that automatically activates during swimming workouts to prevent accidental screen damage. Taps. It's just, I find that interesting. That was the first thing that came up. I did it on Brave and Google. First thing.
Which Rothschild bought the Corcoran?
Yeah.
Linda Forrester Rothschild?
And she's the one that owns The Economist, too.
And isn't she the one that we've heard allegedly
in the drops all over?
Watched the buildings go down. She rented out some kind of hotel room or something with a great view to watch it go down. Well, according to, again, Google, it says that, and I think someone put in the drop, Barbara Corcoran agreed to sell her real estate firm, the Corcoran Group, on September 24th, 2001. The sale was publicly announced on September 25th, 2001. And NRT is a subsidiary of Sendent Corporation and Apollo Management.
That's Leon Black.
company was sold shortly at, listen to this, shortly
13 days after 9/11.
Yeah.
Right till the Black.
Listen what they say. The company was sold shortly after the 9/11 attacks in New York City, which created a challenging market environment. Holy shit. Poor Higgins.
Yeah.
The husband.
Yeah, he's probably involved in 9/11.
But I'm not even thinking that. I'm thinking the husband, if he died in May, was he a sacrifice?
Seems like these people sure do get a lot rich, a lot quick, and nobody knows where in the hell they come from.
And someone always dies.
Come from? Yeah, where'd she come from? Look up her Wikipedia; it goes right to her business. That she started the Cochran Group or whatever when she was a waitress, because she held 20 jobs by the time she was 23. And she was a waitress, and somebody gave her $1,000, and she started up the Cochran Group. It's like, there's the $1,000, 1,000 points of light. Just give the shit up already, people. We get it. Whenever they say, oh, yeah, they're sitting around their table, just like Bill Gates.
Right.
Doing in their garage. You know, Mark Zuckerberg built Facebook in his dorm room in Harvard.
Yeah, and that's what they say. The Corcoran Group was founded in 1973 in New York City. She started the firm with a $1,000 loan from a boyfriend after previously working as a waitress and receptionist. The brokers grew to become a major Manhattan real estate firm. Now,
boyfriend died.
It was 20. Let's just look at this logically. Okay, I know a gazillion real estate brokers who bust their ass. They're smart. They're degreed. They're okay, and they don't just at 23 start it in the middle of Manhattan, which is a very elite, exclusive market. And who was her boyfriend?
Yeah.
How much was $1,000 worth in those days?
Say it was worth 10,000. Say it was worth 20,000.
Yeah.
It's not a lot of money.
It's still like, look what Trump started with $1 million, and look how long it took him. Now look at her. They weren't just moving real estate, because the thing is, that's what all these big real estate names. Yeah, they're the ones propping up the markets and doing money laundering. But also, as a back channel, they can move kids. All undercover real estate. Who's selling the islands? Real estate. High-end real estate. Remember we watched the video when they were selling the islands, like, oh, do the kids come with the island?
Yeah. Well, all the geezers dressed in suits. Yeah.
Man, oh man.
I don't know. I don't want to judge. Sounds like she might have sold her soul.
I think
I don't want to put people, right? We don't want to say that people can't start as entrepreneurs and grow and all that stuff. So we're not saying that, but it just has a lot of very interesting red flags there.
A lot of in vitro talk, like with Tim Walz's wife, Barack Obama's husband, all the way down the line. It's always in vitro, in vitro, in vitro. And then they just come up with kids that don't even look like them. Odd. But you ready to fire up that King Charles one?
Oh, yes, I am.
Yeah, this one. Darker than night. Just look at him. I mean,
I was fucking vile. Sausage finger.
Vlad the Impaler himself.
There is something not right about that. Well, I mean, we all saw the Grim Reaper walk by, didn't we, when he was getting that crown put on his head and stuff. That was something very strange going on there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Damning evidence has emerged linking King Charles to Jeffrey Epstein, revealing the monarch was personally invited to Epstein's Caribbean island to participate in gruesome occult rituals involving unwanted young male offspring from his baby farm. We are talking about pagan rituals with satanic influences, child abuse out in the open. And for one unlucky child, it was more than just abuse, it was child sacrifice. According to eyewitnesses, Charles was not merely present at the ritual, he presided. Because he sees the occult as his inheritance, a birthright, etched into bloodlines that trace back through centuries of secrecy, ritual, and shadow power. But this is the exposure they've dreaded for so long. Because the moment Charles is caught in the frame, there's no containing the storm. His reign hangs by a thread, and that thread is snapping as we speak. Before we dive in, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and join the People's Voice Locals community to join our incredible community, support the channel, and gain access to exclusive and uncensored content. The Epstein files have confirmed what victims have alleged for years. Jeffrey Epstein ran baby farms and plotted to seed humanity with his DNA by forcibly impregnating underage girls at his New Mexico ranch. Now, brave survivors are stepping forward with an even darker revelation. Epstein systematically murdered most of the male infants born from those horrors, and he invited King Charles to join him in the killings. Emails from 2011 show that Epstein commissioned a $2,000 reproduction of the Massacre of the Innocents by Dutch painter Cornelis van Haarlem. The Renaissance painting depicts the biblical massacre of all male children in Bethlehem under age 2. One of Epstein's assistants wrote in an email, "It's the large 9x9 canvas that we had rolled out for him to see in the entryway where they are killing babies, killing baby boys, while the girls were kept alive to experience even greater horrors." Let that sink in.
So this is one of the most disturbing things I've ever read in my life, and it raises the question, was Jeffrey Epstein impregnating young children in order to force them to have kids that would then be brought into the world of sex trafficking and pedophile rings from a newborn? Or I should say from the age of newborn, or whatever you'd say. So these are screenshots from a journal of one of Epstein's victims, and the girl talks a lot in coded language. But the really disturbing thing throughout these journals is that she talks about multiple perpetrators. She names perpetrator, like the executives at AOL, Leon Black, a good friend of Epstein's. There are many more too. But this girl constantly talks about death, about murder, about her babies being taken away from her, about her being forced into these traumatic procedures that were extremely gruesome and bloody. There are also pictures of what I can assume are potentially her babies, her sonograms. And yeah, I mean, you can pause and read all these pages. There are so many of them. Here are some of the pages translated, though. Tomorrow is the halfway ultrasound for Jeffrey. This one stuck. After they took the first baby who survived in the early miscarriage, I think it was called, I no longer feel like a person but a vessel. Will they take this one too? Who has the first one? Where did Ghislaine go? I can't let myself get attached. My body feels so tired. Will I ever be free? So then in another page of coded writing, she writes, I am such a monster. I didn't console her. I can't unhear her screams. They haunt me. I couldn't even bring myself to look at her. I am a monster. I deserve to be haunted by her screams. I am so sorry. I am so broken. Another page here, she describes the doctor who was from Israel, and she describes the procedure. This was different, a shot, and those rod-like things had a hook and so much pain, blood and water all over the bed, and she was wrecked, like a feeling when your tummy hurts and you have to push. I saw her fingers, this tiny head and body in the doctor's hands. It reached its tiny arm up and had a tiny foot. I closed my eyes and no more. No more cries. I don't understand. Just say these things happen. They yelled and screamed, and he said it will be the same in a couple of months. I don't understand what is going on. I can't go to school like this. I can't stop shaking. Yeah, so to me, it sounds like this girl was being impregnated over and over again, starting at the age of probably 13 or 14. And then when she was having these babies, they were being taken from her and immediately brought into the world of a pedophile ring or sex trafficking organization.
According to victims, baby girls were introduced into the world of trafficking, while boys were quickly slaughtered. Epstein considered Charles to be the ideal partner for these barbaric acts, thanks to his expertise in occult rituals and the ancient etiquette of blood sacrifice. This isn't fringe rumor anymore. King Charles's dark past is finally catching up with him. From his long-standing friendship with Jimmy Savile, Britain's most notorious predator, to his mentor, Lord Mountbatten, Britain's second most notorious predator, to his personal friendship with Klaus Schwab, a predator hiding in plain sight, to new ties linking him to Jeffrey Epstein. The pattern is now impossible to ignore. Our bombshell new email reveals that King Charles's aide oversaw royal protection at Epstein's Manhattan residence. And this was 2 years after Epstein's 2008 conviction for soliciting prostitution from a minor. We're talking about Peter Lauberer, the man who serves as Lord Steward to King Charles, a top role in the royal household, overseeing protocol and protection. Turns out the royals were as comfortable at Epstein's properties as he was at theirs.
Charles, how long have you known about Andrew and Epstein? Andrew got with you,
Then there's Prime Minister Keir Starmer, placed by eyewitnesses on Epstein Island, and now forced to fire his US Ambassador Peter Mandelson, after Epstein files revealed their friendship, with emails showing Mandelson calling Epstein his best pal, offering legal support, and sharing sensitive government information. And the web of elite-level deceit just keeps getting more twisted. Mandelson has been renting his country house since 2014 from financier Nathaniel Rothschild, whose family name surfaces repeatedly in the Epstein files. Because, of course it does. Prince Andrew might be the one in the doghouse, but the rot goes all the way to the top. The truth is, the royals have been hiding in plain sight for decades. The FBI knew as early as 1996 that Ghislaine Maxwell was trafficking children for Epstein and his network of powerful associates, including British royals and VIPs. For decades, these connections were dismissed and buried. But now the world is waking up, and people are speaking truth to power. Like the man in Canada who asked Charles how many kids the king molested on Epstein's island. It wasn't only Zorro Ranch in New Mexico that housed underground facilities where Epstein's darkest experiments and crimes took place outside of his older teenage victims. On Epstein's island, infants and young boys were also housed in secret locations away from the main compound.
This is Jeffrey Epstein's island. To understand it fully, we've remodeled the entire island, and we've divided it into 3 main sections. So we can tell the complete story of how this place was built and what it was hiding. In one case, drone footage even captured doors leading deeper into the hill, raising questions about what might have been hidden underground.
This is where the Epstein files and their code words have blown the whole investigation wide open, and why King Charles and his friends who visited the island and carried out occult rituals are sweating bullets as we speak. We have the full details, but first an important word from our sponsor. The global elite are raking in crypto billions, rigging markets to keep regular Americans like you. As Robert David Steele warned the world about baby farms in the United States. He was called a conspiracy theorist, declared to be dangerous, and was finally silenced by the elites during the COVID pandemic.
These children are not just kidnapped and in some cases bred by families as a cash crop. We have people in the United States of America that breed children in order to sell them. And when they are sold, they come without birth certificates, which means it's easier to kill them and have no one ask where they are.
Long before most people had even heard the Epstein name, Steele was dropping bombshells. He warned the public. Epstein had videos of every major US politician doing the unthinkable.
Epstein is just one of at least 50 Mossad pedophilia entrapment operations across the United States of America. There is one in every single state of the Union, including Alaska and Hawaii. And the FBI is letting all of them get away with it. So all of the stuff that the government is confiscating from Epstein, they're actually confiscating from Wexner. Okay? Epstein doesn't have a penny to his name in real terms. Ghislaine Maxwell was a Mossad officer running a high-level prostitution ring that included children, boys and girls, and trapping people in a relatively low-level way. They needed someone like Jeffrey Epstein to pretend to be a billionaire, to suck the elites in, to be one of the boys, and to normalize pedophilia as a daily routine for people like Bill Clinton. CIA and the FBI were complicit from day one. They've been sharing the take and they've been protecting Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. And Robert Mueller explicitly, as the director of the FBI, is the guy that told Acosta to give Epstein a slap on the wrist.
Prince Andrew wasn't the only royal caught in Epstein's web. He was just the one who got caught. According to a member of Mel Gibson's child trafficking task force, future generations will speak about Andrew's crimes as nothing more than a footnote. The real villain will be King Charles.
I was brought in as part of a forensic review team, independent contractors. We were told it was a standard drone reconnaissance poll, part of a routine island scan. But once we saw the footage, we knew it was anything but routine. Location was Epstein's Island, Little St. James. Late evening, dense canopy, firelight flickering through the trees. But the most chilling part wasn't the setting. It was the people. At the center stood Charles, masked and robed, leading what could only be described as a ritual. He wore elaborately carved animal mask, boar or stag maybe, and an exaggerated wooden phallus strapped ceremonially to his body. It wasn't hidden. It was the focal point. He moved with authority. This was no guest. He was presiding. Around him, others danced and mimicked ancient rites, chanting in languages I couldn't identify, possibly Enochian or some dead dialect. Their motions were stylized but intense, some theatrical, some disturbingly real. Young victims, naked, restrained, or sedated, were paraded and positioned as part of the performance. It culminated with a selection of one, smaller, motionless, clearly drugged, placed in a wooden effigy and set alight. We saw the fire begin. We saw them watching. I took the footage straight to my handler. Within hours, I was pulled from the case, debriefed under sedative, and hit with a Section 12 gag order. I only know one other member of my team made it out. 2 disappeared. 1 was later listed as suicide in Maryland. No obituary, no funeral. The footage was traced back to John McAfee. He'd commissioned private surveillance over the island in early 2019 using ex-military drone pilots contracted through a shell company, Hades Optics. The raw files were split into 3 fragments and encrypted. 1 was intercepted. 1 ended up with us. And 1, we believe, is still out there. McAfee was dead less than 6 months later. Since then, any mention of the footage gets scrubbed. Algorithms kill the metadata within hours. Posts vanish. Domains go dark. Even Wayback Crawlers are blocked. We suspect coordination between MI6, Mossad, and a rogue domestic counter-intel unit. My guess? Something dark budget. Maybe spun off from DARPA. I keep hearing the name Ventacor. Every institution that could investigate is compromised. The DOJ has the names. Ghislaine Maxwell gave them the list. She can only quote them from memory because compromat was her father's legacy, and she carried it forward. And at the top of the list, Charles. Not just a visitor, a participant. The royals are insulated by centuries of ceremony, diplomacy, and secrecy. But if the footage is released and authenticated, the monarchy is finished. And not just the monarchy. This will create a trust in governments, media, intelligence networks, and justice systems around the world. The illusion of control. So yeah, they're scrambling, and they should be. Because once this footage drops, it's game over.
Charles isn't the only one with blood ties to darkness in high places. Every European royal family can trace their ancestry back to the imperial bloodline of the Roman Empire. The Roman emperors, in turn, trace their lineage to the bloodlines of ancient Egyptian dynasties. And those Egyptian dynasties, they trace their origins back to the Babylonian royal bloodlines, the first rulers in history to claim a divine right to rule over humanity. These same Babylonian royals were also the first to perform depraved ritualistic acts on children and blood sacrifices and dark ceremonies that they believed granted them special powers. These rituals have woven through history, and the royal family, along with elite families including the Rothschilds, continue to embrace child sacrifice and ritualistic abuse as their ancient rites and customs. So, where does this leave us? Staring straight into the rotted heart of the elite's agenda, an agenda built on surveillance, blackmail, and absolute control. This is why the elites are desperate to censor the masses and ban free speech. One of the global elite's most powerful weapons, a weapon few people realize is a weapon, is the VPN on your laptop or your phone right now. Industry
Never gets any easier listening to that fucking shit, does it?
I don't even know what to say. I gotta be honest.
Yeah, I mean, look, we have seen a lot of stuff drop, but we haven't seen the half of it yet.
You know, the more you like you said before, Jason, the more you hear this stuff, it is so out of the category of just fetishes and weird,
No, this goes right to witchcraft.
Exactly. Evil, summoning spirits, and God knows what the frig else.
Well, blood.
And Andrew was deep in this shit too. He was doing sacrifices too. They were going on hunting parties and all that. They're all involved. Every royal. You wouldn't be a royal if you're not involved. They're bred that way. It's weird.
Because they're not really royals.
No. They're royal reptilians. Who made them? Who made any of these people royalty? Who came up with royalty?
They took it upon themselves. They surrounded themselves by psychopaths to protect them, and that's how it's been going ever since.
Oh yeah. Man, oh man, oh man.
Yeah.
Well, so I guess the inference that we have to make is if this is all coming out, then they're gone. I mean, there's no power left. Maybe they're still, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, rogue minions, and they're still children. Maybe they have to be saved. But it sounds like, otherwise, how could this all come out? You know what I mean?
Yeah. So maybe through executive orders and stuff, they cut off the money, basically, in many circumstances. They have taken a lot of people out at the top, the bloodline families that we're talking about. But there is, this a massive global sting operation. They're filtering out these people. They've been doing it for 8 years. I don't believe for 1 minute they haven't been fucking arresting people. Monkey Works was watching all them rendition flights through COVID, taking people out to certain places, waterboarding them and stuff. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Constant operations.
Over and over and over again. And then
we don't.
Oh, right. Sorry.
Oh no, I was just going to say, and we don't know. That's what we think. We think it started. We don't know when this really started. We don't know exactly, right, when the operation started. This is how could you do all this in such a short period of time? That's what I always think.
I think it's been going on since after Vietnam. These guys knew what the hell they were fighting. They're like, hey man, there's lizards, demons, shapeshifters,
You don't come back. Listen, people have been coming back from war, and I am not saying, because I've never been in a war, that's not traumatic. It's not, you don't have post-traumatic stress. I mean, we know just witnessing one event can do that. But these guys were having flashbacks. They were in a way that was so different than the other people that came back from war. And the thing that's interesting is that they were like destroyed. It wasn't just they had trauma, but you know, the guys that came back from other wars, they were able to assimilate a little bit, and they say, oh, it's because everybody spit on them. And no.
Why do you think they haven't been taking care of veterans?
That's right. You don't want them better.
Yep.
Well, if they're on the streets and people think they're mad and telling stories and stuff, it's not going to wash with anyone, is it?
They were all drug addicts, and they were all, you know, hurting. They were hurting, you know, innocent women and children.
Yeah.
It's one of the largest suicide rates as well, isn't it? Ex-military.
22 a day.
Wow, man.
But yet, hey, let's worry about an 84-year-old, huh?
Very strange, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they need to get this bitch. Big time.
Something, yeah.
Because they're demons. That's it.
Yeah.
I mean, the black glove, the archway, the blood not being tested by the FBI, not being allowed to. Not that they don't want to. They're not being allowed to. So, yeah.
Oh, I saw your comment to Wendy earlier when she said, didn't they in They Live? They were using watches, weren't they?
Yes, I told you. Yes.
Oh, fuck, I forgot about that.
They did, yes.
I'm going to have to go back and watch that again.
Yeah.
You guys got me stuck on this Corcoran thing just because, like I said, like that was the, it says that this loan, I looked it up. It says in 1973, Ramon Simone, then her boyfriend, loaned her $1,000 to start a real estate venture in New York. They founded a company together called Corcoran Simone, with Simone holding a 51 stake and Corcoran holding 49. The split. After 7 years, Simone ended their romantic and professional relationship by leaving her. Listen, is this a typo? Is this what? By leaving her to marry her secretary. So he left her so she could marry her secretary?
Or that he could marry her secretary.
Leaving her to marry her he married her secretary. Got it. Yeah, kind of interesting. Then I guess she married Ramon Simone.
I mean, you can't rhyme, you know.
Ray Simone was what he was called.
Yeah.
And then she married this new guy, right? The one that died in May of 2001.
Mr. Just in the Navy and then the FBI. Nothing to see here. No hyperlink. Just nobody. You know, because rich women, you know, tend to get put with, you know, Navy intelligence. And
I wonder what happened to this guy, because he married the secretary they had. Following their business breakup, he continued to operate in the New York real estate market. And by the way, if he had 51%, why did she get, I guess she just had her half of the business. I don't know. With his office famously located below hers at one point. There are no recent public updates regarding his current whereabouts.
Whoever's got 51% has got full control, haven't they?
Yeah.
Well, apparently he told her, you're never going to make it without me. You'll never succeed without me. So she launched her own company.
Of the $1,000 that he gave her.
Well, no, they had already been established working together after their breakup.
Then
7 years.
Why do you give her $1,000? Why didn't they just start it?
No, they started it with the 1,000.
No, but he gave her
Oh,
the 1,000.
yeah, I don't understand that.
And then
because he owned
that whole thing, it's
51.
like, well, then why did you just, like, why did you guys?
Why does it say $1,000? Yeah.
$1,000
good
points of
point.
light.
Wow.
Elisa's going down the corker and rabbit hole for the next few hours, aren't you?
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Well, because she's so respected, and she's on the Shark Tank, and people, she does all these what do you call those things? Those parties, and yeah.
What if she has an executive chef?
Yeah.
Because I mean, just by looking at her and saying that she got all those faceless and all that, if you look at the picture now on Wikipedia, it's like, what the heck? What? If you had that much work done and you had that much money, you have a shitty surgeon.
Right. Who knows if it's still her?
Who knows these people are even here anyways? I mean, they could be picking them off now. I mean, nobody knows, right? I mean,
yep.
I don't call them. You? No. I just...
Exactly.
Shit like that. It's like, ooh.
Yeah. Well, Joe, you got to get off in a little bit, have you?
Yeah. Yeah, I got some stuff to do around here. And
well, we're going to join you. We're going to join you at 6. Yeah, I can only stay for an hour, but still, we'll be there.
Yeah, because Maddie's coming on too.
Who's that? Oh, yeah. What? Is that the Cat Factory? Yeah.
DVD.
Oh, sweet. That'd be excellent.
Oh, it's
well,
hilarious.
just want to say something now. Elisa and I have got cut affiliates. We will never push anything in anyone's face. We won't put adverts on the screen and all that stuff. We don't do that crap on here. We just want to get the truth out and talk. However, my dear friend Simone, my new friend Simone, who is Rebel Life in the chat, me and her have been spitballing with each other, and I wanted something specific. She's quite good on the computer with AI and everything. So we've made a little 2-minute video, which I think is fantastic. Never played it before, so we're going to play it as the outro to the show today. So if anyone stays there, I think it's quite decent, really. I'll tell you what.
Yeah,
I'm going
she did such a beautiful job, really.
Oh, yeah, let's see it.
Let me just take this stuff off the screen and our banner off the bottom. And yeah, everyone, thank you for joining. Thank you for being in the chat. We'll see you in a few hours for the first hour of fuckery for sure. And hope you enjoy this little video. Rebel Life, top marks for this. Where we go, when we go all.
In a world flooded with noise, clarity has become rare. People are questioning what they're told and searching for something real. Mr. Heal's modern wellness meets old school remedies. CBD tinctures, methylene blue, gummies and edibles, THC-free wellness, and functional remedies crafted with old school care and modern precision. Biozox, a trusted source for ivermectin and fenbendazole. Biozox, believe your health decisions should be yours, not dictated by politicians or big pharma. Crafted with purpose and precision, freedom forged coffee, cacao and mushroom tinctures, small batch roasted coffee, rich cacao and functional mushrooms crafted with purpose. Verity Metals, redefining what precious metals investing should be. Why choose Verity Metals? We're not just another gold dealer. We're a trusted retirement partner. Our clients choose us because we lead with education, integrity, and transparency. Medical bills are the leading cause of bankruptcy in the United States, accounting for 66.5% of bankruptcies. We can all agree the healthcare system is broken. There is an alternative. Impact Health Sharing, which Yahoo News is calling the disruptor in the $4.6 trillion healthcare system. For more information, visit patriotsacrossthepond.com.